It's so funny. It literally reminds me of Jesse Pinkman and Walter White. Jesse's like voicing his frustrations to Walter White, expressing his emotions, and Walter White just goes, "I hope your body gets found in a barrel." You know, it's like, geez, nigga, god damn,
bro. What the fuck?
It's like he was just saying, expressing how disgruntled like he is.
Yeah, right.
He's a human being and has emotions.
Bro,
You fucking pussy, you deserve to die. Like,
Right.
Bro, I started rewatching after we had that conversation last week, and he's been bad the whole time. Walt has been trash the entire fucking time.
It's just like how big the badness is or becomes. Like it germinates into this.
Right. The logic has always been there.
Yeah.
When they're like,
yes.
When they're like, buddy, we'll just pay for all of it.
That's fucking crazy.
And it's
dog.
like, what is this, episode 3?
Right.
He's like,
oh,
and he's like, no.
problem solved.
And he's like, I will never do that. This greater matter is mine.
Because you vaguely betrayed me in the past, even though we never get an explanation.
I just started season 5, and it's somehow managing to get darker. Like I'm just like,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, so season 5, now we're full blown psychopath. Like his evolution is complete. And now I want him to die. I'm literally like, this guy needs to die. Top episode. I'm like, all right, get him out of here. Not to spoil anything. I'm sorry, but like, horrible.
You start looking at Jesse like, bro, you got to
get out of here.
Also, wasn't season 5? Wasn't this like the first time a show was like, no, there's 2 halves to season 4? Wasn't that?
That's what this is. This is
what did they do?
It's a 2-part. Season 5 came out in 2 parts, but
or season 4 did, right?
I think it was season 5. I think it was the last one.
I think it was season 4.
Maybe they both did. I just know season 5 came out, or whichever. The last season, I think, came out in 2 parts.
Yeah. It definitely was the last one.
Yeah. Let me just triple this one.
You seen El Camino? Did you ever watch that?
I started watching that.
That's the follow-up movie.
Oh,
I didn't know.
I had a coughing fit from the mid.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
From the mid. From the midness.
I haven't seen it, so we no need to discuss.
It was just Aaron Paul like being 42 years old, Jesse Pinkman in like 2019.
That's the end of that.
Oh, that sucks.
It was just like, this is what happens after Breaking Bad.
He's like, so we broke bad, huh?
It's a tight little 90-minute kind of edition.
Breaking Bad's a real motherfucker, huh?
It's
Mr.
the Breaking
White.
Bad OVA. Have you seen it?
Wow.
Yeah, it's the Breaking Bad TV movie.
Good. Have you practiced that? No. Oh, it's so good.
It's the musical special.
The moment you practice, it just gets bad.
So we broke bad, and it's like
I'm Breaking Bad already. Don't waste your time on me.
And shit.
Mr. White came and killed Tuco.
Tight.
Tuco, what is he like? Selling Fruit Loops? Like, what's that name?
So you gotta get lightheaded if you keep doing it.
You just gotta sound like scared.
Where's my money, bitch?
Yeah. It's the exhale after. Headshot.
It's like he just ran around an alleyway corner and just escaped danger all the time.
Imagine him if he just ran a marathon.
Yeah.
Where's my money, bitch?
Yeah.
Where's my medal, bitch?
I wanted to do sub 3.5 hours. Didn't do it, but
I like the whole era where he's like,
like
that's his. Like, he just
gets into
that
deep.
He
gets into that deep,
right? I'm your father, bitch.
You know,
That's
Zach on the very
Vader.
first episode of the show was talking like about white people opioid like heroes, and that's really the only one is Jesse Pinkman. Like that's the only protagonist that really epitomizes that, and it's before it even happened, the true opioid crisis, which you could probably mark the mid-2010s as the beginning of it, yes. Fentanyl getting all over the place.
Oh,
you guys ever tried fentanyl? I haven't.
Sure haven't.
I haven't touched this stuff.
Crocodile is where it's at. Personally. I mean, I like the rock.
I had salvia, crocodile, and fentanyl, and I made a little cocktail. Yeah. But yeah, that show's very fire, and I'm also continuing to watch it. Quite good. I
don't know if I could watch a show that long again. I already don't like TV shows, so it's like it just feels like.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I feel like our threshold for what's too long needs to go way down. I feel like having grown up on anime, mine is kind of fucked up.
Like,
what needs to go down?
The threshold on how long a show needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
just
like 4 episodes is sometimes better than 10.
Yeah.
Well,
that's why Fully Cooley is my favorite anime, because it's 6 episodes.
This is my philosophy on good film. Like, that's why I love. I'm not a TV person, because I'm like, I can have my life changed and go through an emotional whirlwind in 2 hours, 3 hours tops, and I'm good. You know, it like has a lasting impact on me versus throwing. I don't even know how many hours into. Yeah, Breaking Bad is like 40 to 50 minutes an episode. 5 it's like
it also rules though when shit is just too long.
Yeah,
like there's so much Breaking Bad that doesn't even need to exist. There's so many I don't know. It does make it very gradual though. Yeah, but we're talking about a good TV show. There's so many shows that don't use that time well at all.
Right. I remember the first time watching season 3 being like, haven't they fucking broken it by now? Yeah.
It's breaking okay
for the bad that they were trying to break.
Fucking long.
It is cool that they named a show something that doesn't make sense, like Breaking Bad. Like that doesn't make sense.
Like who had said that?
I'm
phrase
assuming.
before?
I've assumed that's an expression.
It's like raising hope. Like this doesn't make sense.
I think like bad is the name of somebody in the show.
Jesse said break bad in the first.
But I think I swear to God they
choosing
made that
to
up.
ignore that.
I swear to God they made that.
You think they made it up?
I think they made that phrase up for the show.
What do you like, Breaking Bad or something?
To Gilligan, the term Breaking Bad was a saying that is native to his home state of Virginia,
which means
it basically means raising hell.
Fake. What? No.
Why did Jesse Pinkman casually say that like that?
Right,
you're raising hell
in New Mexico.
Right.
When I was writing Breaking Bad, I just decided to take that from
a broader
Vince Gilligan. I wrote
broader
Breaking
definition
Bad
suggests.
I'm Breaking Bad.
Is that what he talks like?
Logie Dogie shit. I'm American. I ain't a muffin.
Breaking Bad was American.
A broader definition suggests that the phrase "break bad" is a colloquialism that means turning to a life of crime. I mean, I interpreted it as that when I heard it. But
I love how
it had a clear
see the first chapter is another 20 minutes of us talking.
Why the hell not?
Oh no, it's fucking sick.
I guess there's a lot of worse options. It could be like, oh, you're what, 60 years old and suddenly you want to become evil?
Yeah. Becoming evil. Is the name of the show.
And suddenly you want to raise hell and shit.
Yeah. You want to cause a ruckus?
Suddenly you want to bring the ruckus?
Yeah. So you suddenly want to bring the ruckus, Mr. White?
Suddenly you want to break out the Wu-Tang sword?
Yeah.
That's another funny thing.
On the nose.
You think your Wu-Tang sword can defeat me, Mr. White?
Another funny thing is he keeps calling him Mr. White after everything. It's like, whoa, you're basically saying senpai, like, right?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
He's I know that
it's written right. It's written as like he just remembers him as his teacher throughout it all. Yeah. But it just comes across
like Mr. Frodo.
Like, right.
We're on a journey together.
It is very much notice me senpai across 5 seasons.
Notice me, senpai.
Notice me, senpai.
Shits. Notice that I can cook. I can cook too.
Mr. White Summer.
I love how they use cook too throughout the show.
It's about respecting the chemistry, Jesse.
Respecting the cook.
Yeah. I love how he's also like such a Karen. He's just like, you are a degenerate.
Right.
You are disgusting.
Right. Just outraged.
It really struck me on the second watch just how uptight this family is.
Oh,
it's crazy. Marie is stealing.
Yeah,
and she will not apologize to me for it.
Yeah,
it's like, okay.
I was thinking about that, and I'm like, ask her. I would be like, what can you give me more shit? Like you're just running these.
I'd be like, yo, that's so fire that you would steal from me. That's so kind. That's the kindest thing anybody's ever done for me.
I gotta ask, do we want to share with people how we got into talking about Breaking Bad or no?
How did we get into talking about Breaking Bad?
What?
Before the cameras came on, what we were talking about.
Fucking. Oh. They don't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. There's been an EMP that's hit the United States. And the internet doesn't exist to me anymore.
That's relevant to what we were talking about the other day. Were we talking about that?
Oh, like EMP proofing?
Well, yeah, like how in the prepper community, how that's like, that's their gold standard. Like they'll ask a series of questions and it's like, what about the EMPs?
Yeah.
You don't even have a bag for that, do you?
Yeah.
You don't even have a crate for that, do you?
No, I've got the crate.
And then it's always like, yeah, no, I do.
I got the crate.
And then it's like, all right, he's legit.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about radioactive lava? Will they survive that? I bet you don't even.
I bet you're not even prepared
What
for
about
that.
ghouls ripping into it? You probably have no plan for that, do you?
So it's
they literally do this, by the way. Mm-hmm. Like unironically, it's like it's like test my gangsta, like it's like test my prep, like test my how prepared I am.
Like what's the quicksand protocol on that?
Right.
What's the quicksand?
You don't even have quicksand proof gear, I bet.
Yeah, what's the commercial? You gotta be quicker than that.
Right. You got a rocket ship, I bet you don't.
The sand's gotta be quicker than that to get me.
Oh fuck.
I can't wait to learn more about like all of the rich insights that like come out of that community.
Out of the prepper community?
Yeah, because I've already read a good amount, but there's levels to everything. So it's like
I can't wait for the just like I don't know, organizing the sort of insights of kind of like a transitional type of ecological living and like how that would like all come to fruition in clothing and you know what is it, permaculture, like growing shit and like all the tricks that geniuses who do actually think about this shit all the time, like organizing them in context that we're trying to do.
Like in like a holistic way. Like how is it integrated with our daily lives and where we're living, how we're living.
Right. I don't know why when you gestured to me, I like searched my brain for like what are things that I contributed to this, and I just pictured you going anime. Like, how does anime play out in an ecological society?
In that sense,
how does that work?
I just see videos of people like in like Sicily or whatever, and they're just like they all have like garden. They live in this like beautiful home, and they just have a bunch of gardens of just fresh food, and they're all just like laying around in hammocks all day, just eating their food, and it looks fucking amazing.
Well, that's the state of the whole thing these days, right? It's like it's just a novelty, you know. Get a nice little photo shoot, and then the rest of the peasants get to look at it and go, can you imagine?
Nice.
Oh, it's so gorgeous. Yeah, it's not even necessarily about the social elements of it, the utility of it. It's just like, can you imagine? You know, that's cute.
Right.
Yeah. But we're in a position to like structure a whole community actually around it, like a lived, breathing social thing.
It's so funny that like when people kind of shit on ideas like this, they're like, you know, people used to have to hunt for their food. They used to have to grow their own food and all this stuff. I'm just like, I would much rather do that than what it is now, where I gotta go work for somebody else and earn a fake currency to go buy food that somebody else hunted and harvested or whatever the fuck. Yeah, it's like all these fucking steps between me and the shit when I could just go out and just
also
grab
all
it.
this shit you're talking about,
you know?
hunting and growing your own food. we have the dopest technology and resources and knowledge base on how to do that shit in history. So hunting could be wearing the coolest fucking Gore-Tex shit and having like a bow that like is laser sighted and shit.
I was literally about to say, you think I don't want to fire a laser sighted crossbow into something's neck?
Yeah. And maybe you just have the most fire recipes for food ever, and it's all made with fresh food that's all grown. Like I used to work with this guy who was so into food. I probably brought it up on the show, but like he explained how the like chicken coop is next to where like the fucking lambs graze, which is they shit next to where and it all grows next to each other, and it heightens the flavor and quality of everything. And it's all seasonal. Like in France, you only eat seasonal shit. So like I don't know. It's just like it's not as like a scarcity. Like you would have to grow your own food. It would actually be like you'd probably like it more. Honestly,
You know what I don't remember if I asked one of y'all this the other day or somebody else. You know, like there's this whole notion of like when you kill something, you eat it and use all of its parts. And I thought about that. Would you feel more like respected if you got murdered and then they ate all of you and like used all your bones?
We were talking about this the other day.
You use your bones to make weapons?
I told that he asked us this the other day, and I told him if I could look down from heaven and see a human eating my body, I would look at them like,
oh, what the fuck?
I'd be like, okay. Like that would literally be my reaction. I'd be like, I mean, I guess. I'd be like, yo, to my friends and family, I'd be like, y'all couldn't get that? You couldn't have claimed my body before the cannibals got to it first?
Like, bro,
sheesh.
God damn,
how did I end up there?
Wait,
I hope I taste good as
cannibalism right now.
No, just if there has to be cannibalism.
It is it's like it is what it is. But and I would be up in the sky looking at it like
I just don't know how we jumped to here.
No, I'm just
wait. Where do you get defending from? If anything, I'm making a little judgment on the cannibal. I'm kind of looking at the cannibal like.
This is like
if that's what floats your boat, I guess.
This is more like
I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be like mortified. Like I wouldn't be like, oh my god.
Well, this is
my dead body. Like,
I'd be like, damn, we get spectator mode in this shit. That's crazy. That'd be my first thought.
Yeah, but no, this is,
I don't want to see this.
No, this is more. This is more like dog. You're being particularly weird about something that's already weird.
Right.
Yeah,
like what the fuck is going?
Don't use my gooch flap as a
as a
purse,
as
bro.
a wallet.
Like, don't recycle, upcycle my
bro,
shit.
you don't have to eat the scrotum skin.
Yeah.
I would go. All right, at least 1,000 times watching it. All right. You didn't need to do that.
Like, what are you trying to prove?
Like, get the good meat and get out. All right,
right.
Get the fast, cut the fast off.
Right.
That's the best part.
If you're a cannibal, you suck the marrow. Like, dog, you like this? No, that's fucking weird.
Yeah,
bro.
no. Don't have clean bones. Leave a little long.
This is the one case where I won't judge you for leaving some meat on the bone.
We're gonna get random cannibal facts in our comment section now.
Right.
In 1975, actually, it's really interesting.
We're gonna have Army Hammer in the comments.
Why do people?
My God. You see, Army Hammer had a. He's doing a PR. He's trying the PR move.
Yeah,
he's a whole sexual assaulter. I don't know why he's doing this shit.
I'm not gonna give all the context, but I've spoken with Army Hammer before. Dude. Now everyone's gonna think I'm a cannibal.
I deal with questionable dudes all the time.
Right, well,
cannibals,
we all
ghouls,
do.
Raiders,
they're in our midst.
The anarchists,
they're all around. The bandits.
Yeah,
they're right under your nose. The knaves.
I really hope he gets the Darth Maul like arachnoid chair attachment, like stays alive forever type shit, like nuclear fission.
Trump.
Yeah. I hope he's like a Doom Eternal villain.
Your haters are gonna call you a Trumper now. It's two black guys and a Trumper. Wait, can we talk about these white dudes in the comments who like they seem like they're literally mad that you have black friends? You know the dudes that I'm talking about, or maybe you don't.
The dudes that are
I see comments about
I'm like,
us not being the same.
I
race.
see the comments, and I think it's going to be a black person the way that it's written, and I hit the account, and it's just they're all deezed up, like angry looking white men, and their comments are literally like, you think because you have black friends that you can have some sort of special access to black culture and identity.
Right.
Wow, what a joke.
They're still
real,
and I'm like, are you okay, man?
They're still.
Are you like what?
Yeah, I don't.
This isn't. If you want to be friends with black people, this isn't how you do it.
Right.
Like,
They're still
You think just because you've got Negroid friends that you have.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like,
I've seen it multiple times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And they're all deezed. I'm like, they all look like
Right.
bodybuilders. I'm like, what's the deal with that? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
I
Maybe
wish
they're-
I
maybe
had.
they're-
Wish someone could answer that question.
Maybe
I
they're
wanna-
strong, but maybe they're like insecure about their height.
What's that have to do with me as a black person?
No, I'm just saying like that's why they're angry at life. in
At
general.
life. But why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why?
Oh, that part I have no idea.
Oh, you really think that?
You really
There's so
done
many
it now.
steps. You
And
have
it's
to,
like
there's
about
so many.
me just laughing
Yeah,
at
laughing
what
with
you're
us.
saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Literally, we're gonna have to dig
Wow.
one up so people have some context.
Look
Yeah,
at
that's pretty
at him. He's the white guy from You People. That's there were multiple
I've been
comments that
getting
said
that
that.
one too.
There were multiple comments.
I wish I had Jonah Hill's cool tattoos, but I'm glad I don't. Also, anyways,
Wait, what? Oh, is he's You People is that shitty Netflix?
He's People
are
got
You
you,
People,
got
yeah.
you,
Yeah.
got you. Okay,
Yeah.
I just made that connection.
yeah, it's bizarre.
Can you, as a
Ele-
white man, Connor,
Yeah.
can you get inside of his mind?
Yeah, I mean,
Can you get inside of that mind for a second for me and really shed some light on what's going on here?
yeah, I think just white people, what we do a lot is overcompensate. And I think a lot of the times we overcompensate
That's
trying
what it
to
is.
police each other.
That's what it
Yeah.
is.
And
Yeah.
I'm sure I've done it as well. But
That's also, but it's
Yeah.
infantilizing to us and racist to us. I
Yeah.
feel like simultaneously because it's
Yeah.
like he's saying
we can't make the
we
choice. to
can't perceive, we can't choose our white friends or
Right.
something. Like we can't parse who's a weirdo or something.
Right.
So we're objects again, even in this racism.
it's extremely
Just like-
condescending.
yeah,
that, like
we're
they
just
need you. They like you need
to
them
defend,
to comment.
yeah.
Right. Like we're not. It's
It's so
It's mind-boggling.
It's like
mind-boggling.
we're not in the same room together. you
right,
know?
right.
It's
right.
like they think you're doing like a stitch on TikTok, commenting
It's
on
like
what
we
was
were
it?
all hired separately to be on this show. Like we all had
Right.
agents. Like
Just to be
Right.
clear, these are like my brother. We're like brothers.
Yeah.
Like literally like brothers.
yeah, we
Right.
talk to each other every single day.
We've been
Literally.
close since years before the show went live. This
Yeah,
is
wow,
not.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
not like a thing where we came and we were like part of why people enjoy the show is because they can tell these people
Go
know each
figure.
other.
We actually
Yeah.
fuck with each other.
I also want
Yeah.
to say, even on like comments about like some people, some of my friends and family, like they'll be like, y'all interrupt each other a lot. And I'm like, really? That's interesting. And like, sure, like we interrupt each other and whatnot, and sometimes we don't like it when we interrupt each other. But for the most part, like I was trying to.
But we do it in a very like
Well,
Yeah,
no,
when
exactly.
it's important.
what I
you
was
know?
gonna say is we trust each other, and I feel like we also
Yeah.
trust that everyone's gonna say something insightful.
Yeah.
So like, there's not this like, I don't know. That's at least my perspective.
There's
on
not tension to like
it. Right, and
you
that
know.
you have to be close and you have to be friends. You have to have trust in order for that to even happen, let alone on camera. So to like watch all of it and then that weird ass
feel like
commentary is
They
the-
probably didn't like you commenting on KRS-One's self snitching. They probably didn't like that very much.
reacting negatively to sexual abuse. How
Yeah.
dare?
I feel like every time that's happened to me or I've seen it in the wild, it always feels like, oh, you got called out for this one time, and now you're projecting it onto everybody else.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me. It's like,
yeah.
that dude
Yeah,
said
that's
something
pretty
about
big.
hip hop culture and somebody shat on him because he was probably wrong. or he was probably out of pocket, and now he took that to be like, okay, it's racist every time. It's racist every time.
Yeah.
There's no nuance.
That happens a lot across different identity sort of like things.
Oh yeah, dog. And
then there's the jealousy thing, obviously too. He literally might just be mad that he's looking at a white person who has has black friends, and he doesn't.
If somebody called Anthony Fantano racist, there would be a whole political movement grown out of it. It's like, well, you can't talk about hip hop anymore.
Oh yeah.
So I guess it's just indie now.
Indie. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no black people in indie.
Windy.
Oh God, please tell me that's original. Like I don't think that's a thing, but it's gonna be a thing now. Windy music. Let's be clear.
Windy
because black people
invented
it basically. So we're specifying.
Yeah. But he would say that because he's being racist.
Right. Exactly.
No, it's all just very uncomfortable and crazy.
It is.
Yeah. I hate all the whole dynamic about
it's
it.
Awkward.
It's insane.
And it's crazy. It's like stuff that we wouldn't even concoct in our own mind. We wouldn't think it up.
Right.
You know, it's so bizarre.
No,
right?
Because we're not fucking weird. We're not weird.
But now we know. Now we can see it. So now it's like in our psyche. Like,
we can't let it debase us. We can't let it. We can't let us like let it like mentally
look. As a black, I think it's okay that you're here.
Thank you.
Imagine if we were we were those people.
No, this
every
is like,
episode.
As a black in this situation that doesn't involve me at all, I think it's okay.
Oh yeah.
Just on a YouTube comment.
My brain just goes into just a million and one different places on that.
Yeah. It's really weird.
On just like black and like white, I don't know what to call it. Racial dynamics.
Solidarity.
Racial dynamics and like how that impacts how people perceive quote unquote organization and like what it should and shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You know, like my whole thing has always been like, because of the history of this country and white supremacy, which is, you know, global to a certain degree. A large part of the globe is, you know, impacted by that. Like black people and indigenous people of, you know, certain backgrounds and groups should have the space to self-determine and operate around their, you know, cultural dynamics. I think the racial dynamics and power are obviously huge factors in that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, like, it's like people create a false choice of like balkanization or just everyone go into the predominantly white zone and just trust that it'll be okay because these are the good white people.
Right.
You know, and it's like, no, like we can operate in a decentralized and distributed way with shared values. And then people, person to person, black or white, can make their own decisions about who they're comfortable doing stuff with. And like, as individuals, regardless of our identities, which are, you know, layered identities, complex identities, like we all have different levels of comfort and experience with people of other backgrounds.
Right.
But people make it this very like, they make a moral judgment on you depending on how you sort of like, you know, it's like this in people's really simplistic minds, they think like, no, we basically we need things completely segregated.
Right.
And also I have a hierarchical mindset, so you do the math from there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're all gonna have our own little nation state and army, and that's real freedom and power and justice. And it's like
there on the one hand you could have the reality that like there is some necessity and political expedience to people organizing in their own separate groups, obviously, because they have shared values and needs and all these things. But then for a lot of people, that becomes an end in itself.
Right.
Is that the goal of creating a space for just black people is an end in itself, when in reality it's just like, and like, sure, maybe it just ends up that way just by circumstance or whatever, but like, to say that our end goal is to have this nation state or whatever the fuck for just black people or just white people or whatever, it's like, you just got to be able to think past that. I don't even know if I had like
isn't it about freedom? And if it's about freedom, then isn't it about just what we're comfortable with and also what makes strategic sense?
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like for me personally, like we're always talking about like eco communities and things like that. I 110% think that poor and working class black people not only should have like, we should have our own physical, you know, space and territories where we can be sure, you know, we're going to have, you know, a say and control over things that are impacting our lives under this broader system of white supremacy.
Right.
I 100%, like we're already segregated.
Yeah.
Right. Like we're already segregated. So, and white supremacy exists. So to me, that's just a natural sort of like, that's like, of course.
Yeah.
I also think that there are black people who do feel more comfortable, sort of, or rather they feel comfortable operating in more diverse settings or contexts. But even in those contexts, I feel like it should be black and indigenous, you know, people who are prioritized, you know, in those situations in terms of like opportunities, in terms of access and so on and so forth. And that's just because I think there has to be some degree of repair in, you know, how we're trying to move forward together, you know? But like all of this stuff that I'm saying, like, I don't know, like, I feel like most of the discourse around this sort of stuff is so vague and abstract and like
to the point about the discourse. The thing I'm thinking of right now is the kind of like technology and social media spaces that we have these conversations on,
right?
Because, you know, like I'll do like a TikTok where I'm like not even throwing isms out there, I'm just like trying to have the conversation of like there was this one cringy person on TikTok going viral for talking about the homeless. Like it's bad to house them in places that are unflattering and not high quality. And they're reactionary. They're just a right winger. Like they are openly conservative. They're a gay conservative.
Yeah. Is this the one you sent? That was
maybe, yeah. And I reacted to it. And I was like, it's just so funny that conservatives, you know, liberals, whatever, it's still within this like framework that we only have conversations about what a government could fund to create. That's the only way we talk about things. Right. And so I was literally just talking about that, and it's just, you can, as you would expect, the comments were just like it was either just like basically Twitter kids talking, or it was just people being like against what I was saying, and that was it. And there was nothing like further than that. You can see some comments where people are like, "Oh wow," just like in general, like, "Oh, it's interesting."
Yeah.
But it makes you think like what kind of conversations we could have if you know, there was that space to have more nuance and shit. Because clearly, it's like, I don't know. This is like, you know, preaching to the preacher in a way. But but like, sometimes I do really feel like people are so far from this point.
Oh yeah.
It's like I know we talk about this all the time, but it sucks. It sucks how many people are not even close.
Yeah.
How much needs to be like unwrapped.
And I think people use it to like to sort of invalidate your perspective in a lot of ways, where they say, right, because you align with these people, or that you don't align with these people, that now you in a way get removed from access to this culture or this group of people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where people try to like reassign you racially based on who you hang out with or like your interests and all these things, and use it to invalidate your space in where is like, say, if you do a certain thing, people are so quick to say, well, black people don't do that, and therefore the logical conclusion being, okay, well, this person is not black. Therefore, like reinforcing this idea, this monolithic idea we have in our heads of what black people are by boxing people out of it, based on what they do, who they hang out with, where they are, and all these things. And I think it's a lot of people who are aware of the fact that blackness is not a monolith, but then go and reinforce it in their daily lives, you know?
And I was going to say, it's like, who benefits from that? It's all authoritarian people. It's just people who want to control other people.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm an alt nigga. You know, I'm for the alt niggas. Fluidity, move around, fuck whoever you want to fuck. Like, you want to fuck with them? You want to fuck with? I care about you being free. You ain't got to fit into a box with me because I love you.
Unless you like being inside boxes, in which case that's on you.
But you get what I'm saying.
Box yourself up.
But you get what I'm saying. It's like
one of them vampire type niggas.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who they're calling me a vampire. There are a lot of people who like to take advantage of racial tensions in order to control the narratives and ultimately people. Yeah,
no, it's true.
And I think that's important to keep in mind because, no matter what identity you fit into racially or ethnically or your gender or whatever, it's like everyone's different and everyone has different experiences. And I was going to say on the other side, like, I think people should understand, I said it in a previous episode, like empathizing just on one point about why black people wouldn't want to do anything with someone who's not black.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of, if you haven't been exposed to a lot of different people from different backgrounds and cultures throughout your life, or had close friendships with people who look different from you, or you even have trauma that you can relate along these racial dynamics yourself, like it makes sense, you know? And like you made a comment about like how far away people are from sort of
I was saying like anti-authoritarian, anti-state shit. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, I thought you were, I think it's related, but I thought you were talking more just so about like, just perceiving relationships and like, because honestly,
also what I thought.
Yeah,
I realized I like tangented slightly there.
Yeah,
and we were talking about something else,
but yeah, I think there's like different ways that you could interpret that or like think about that. But yeah, I was gonna say I think a huge part of that is how separated people are along racial, ethnic, class lines. Right. But then we're isolated as people and like alienated on top of that in this like digital age.
Yeah.
So it's like prime territory for these types of manipulative, you know, characters to come in and basically play this game of dehumanize the other so that I can be on top and lead you.
Is a great way.
Yeah. I can lead you, whatever that faction is.
Right.
And none of that discounts like the structural social realities of like oppression and discrimination and racism, all these things that exist in the world. It's like that doesn't discount it. It just says like, no, but we are all humans actually, and like so the process of us working together to get out of this mess has to be a process of humanization, mutual humanization. And this includes people use humanizing as if you're trying to like excuse or support something.
No,
it's like no. You're acknowledging that whatever a person or a people did or played a role in, they are a human being.
Right.
So it actually allows you to more critically analyze the ways in which you can address the problems and the solutions.
Right.
If you're just demonizing the other, if the other is just, this person or these people or whatever are monsters,
Right.
well then what are we talking about here? Let's have the race war now. Let's have the ethnic cleansing. Let's have the genocide now,
Somebody, they're gonna pull that out.
Soundbite.
They're gonna pull that out.
Soundbite season.
No.
Z soundbite season.
No, obviously.
Let's
That's
have
not gonna
the
help.
ethnic
No, but
cleansing now.
here's the
Somebody-
thing, though.
somebody already paused.
Yeah.
This is related to the nationalism thing, because I was revisiting when we were talking about Russian homies, Lenin, and all of this stuff.
Right.
And it dawned on me like how people really when I say nationalists or refer to nationalism, like I don't think people understand when you say nationalism. Most of the time people are thinking, oh, like you're a patriot,
Right.
You identify with the nation state and the government that's like ruling over the masses in this particular region or place. And really, when I'm using this term nationalism, I'm speaking to multiple layers of things. One of those things being like you perceive government and nation state and this mythos, a mythology connected to it as legitimate.
Right.
You see that as like that's a given thing. And so there are a lot of people who are nationalist or nationalistic on these terms, right? And when you come to them talking about this, you throw out genocide or you throw out tribalism or you throw out balkanization, they think you're trying to do this like logically fallacious sort of like twist, like you're trying to present their perspective in a more extreme light than it actually is in order to delegitimize it, right?
Right.
And what I'm saying is, no, I'm underscoring that because those are the structural and social and psychological seeds that lead to that ultimate outcome and end.
Right.
Because that end stems from hierarchy and domination.
Yeah.
That's where all roads lead. It's a similar thing to when we talk about how liberalism opens the door for fascism. Why is that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People will say in a sentence capitalism, but capitalism is a part of it, but it's the state, it's the nation state, and millions of people just acting as if that's how we should be organized.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if we go to a more granular level, it's hierarchy, it's top-down organization, of society, government, the home, however granular you want to get.
If we want to get even more granular, Walter White was trash from the beginning.
He was.
And everything that happens in season 5 is just an outgrowth of who he already was in the first episode of the show.
Shaved his hair before it even fell
You
off.
think I didn't plan this? You think I didn't know?
That is on point.
What?
Chef's kiss. Well, just that analogy.
Yeah.
Walter White in Breaking Bad, like you look at him in
I
the
see what you're
beginning
saying.
and it's
Yeah.
like they would look at me and be like, oh, really? You're going to call him a psychopath? Oh,
Yeah.
you're going to say he's on this sort of like, it's going to turn into this?
Like,
It's like the seeds are there.
from episode, the fact that
The signs are there.
right,
It's like when
The
Mike is like,
Seinfelds are there.
you are a ticking time bomb.
yes, like the fact that from episode
He's always like this. Mike from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just the fact that he went to meth in episode 1 it's crazy.
right.
We don't talk enough
Right.
about that.
Right.
I didn't look at like structured personal loans or
Right.
anything like that.
Like, bro, you're a scientist.
Exhaust all
Yeah.
the
You are a
options here.
scientist.
Right. Get a job.
Get a fucking like.
Get a science job.
Right, you didn't write a couple of resumes.
He
Right.
got the opportunity and he turned it down.
Right.
Yeah, they're like, what if we sucked your penis professionally? No. He's like,
I'll find a way to suck it.
you bastard.
I'll find it.
penis sucking.
He's like, I'll find a way to suck it myself.
I'll take care of it myself, Jesse.
No, seriously though, that's a beautiful analogy. Honestly,
that's beautiful, Yedoye, the way you just put it.
Hey, thank you.
I say this from a place of empathy too, because I would wager all three of us, like, if you grew up in this country, that shit is baked into you by default.
Yeah.
Nationalism and domination.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's not nationalism, like, again, to reiterate, it's not like America. That's not what we're talking about. It's much more insidious than that.
Right.
It's much more subtle than that.
Right.
It's, I assume that whatever the answer is to this is going to include hierarchy, top-down organization, the state, nation state, you know, all the flags, all of it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, until you've unpacked all of those different things, you're just sort of like, I don't know, especially in times of fear and collapse and whatever, you're more likely to just play into these types of narratives that what do they call them? The race baiters, or the race
baiters is a term, but
hucksters, or the
I think maybe those mean the same. Huxtable.
Yeah,
but I think to
the race baiters,
the race hucksters,
the race riding,
the race baiters over at NASCAR.
I'm thinking about Umar Johnson, just the Umar Johnsons of the world, you know, like,
right. It's and I feel like, to like live in this race conversation for a second, I think it's important to acknowledge both in that conversation and more broadly in things like gender, all other types of categorical things. You got to ask yourself why you need those labels in the first place. What do they exist for? Because you have like ethnic distinctions that serve a purpose of saying, like, this person is from this community, this is the culture that they grew up in, this is maybe
a shared history,
a geographical location attached to it, when race has no other purpose but to enforce a hierarchy.
It was created by Europeans.
I don't think people
race.
I don't think people understand.
Race is a distinct thing. Just before people start flipping out, we're using the word race as a distinct thing. We're not talking about groups of people identifying different physical traits or something like that. We're talking about whiteness.
Yeah.
We're talking about a system that is centered around whiteness.
Right.
And when I tell you, people don't understand that it was invented by a guy. The fact that it was a guy.
It's just a guy.
You know how DreamWorks was a couple guys?
Yeah,
it took a couple guys to make DreamWorks. Yeah. It took a guy
Imagine
to
if
make
only
race.
Jeffrey Katzenberg invented race.
Katzenberg, hey!
But literally, the thing that we live and die by was invented by a dude to justify chattel slavery.
Real quick. Like, I do want to underscore, like, the white people, white person thing, because a lot of white people, or like non-black people, they'll hear us as black people saying this shit, and they'll be like, see, like, we just need peace, like, we just need to, like, come together, like, they get it, like, and shit, you know, like,
this, my friends, this is an example of a stupid fucking thing to say.
Right. And it's like, I want to just underscore, like, the power is largely in white people's and white systems and institutions' hands on this point.
Yeah.
Y'all have most of the institutional power. So it's like, you have to use that to your advantage to actually open up space and let go of resources where Black and Indigenous and other people can come in and see a pathway to trust and cooperation in a way that makes sense for everybody, right?
Right.
And that's where the decentralization, distributed systems thing is relevant, because I don't need to join your predominantly white Big Tent organization in order for us to do some shit together. In fact, I can start with Black people, and if there happens to be a majority white group or whatever that is on the same page as me, we can work together from somewhat of a distance to reach a shared outcome.
Right.
you know?
Right. But why can't I be proud of my whiteness? Why can't I be proud of my...
Patrick Star
no,
wants to be proud of his whiteness.
SpongeBob. Come on, SpongeBob. White people deserve the right to be proud of their heritage.
You were gonna say something though?
I was gonna say just like I also think those categories and labels are for people that don't know any of those people in real life, and
yes,
like tying it back to the humanizing thing.
Yeah,
like it's for otherizing. Right. It's for being like, these are people that, you know.
Yeah, what was that Jordan Peterson clip? He's like, if you're a woman and we haven't met, then I'm going to speak to you from a stereotypical place.
If I don't know your gender,
if I don't
your impression,
I just go higher.
I just go higher.
Peterson, if I don't know your gender,
it's fully just curved. This is Miss Piggy.
Yeah, Miss Piggy.
Yeah, different fucking Muppet.
Yeah,
right.
It's
there was a
Jordan
clip of him being like,
there are feminine boys. What are we going to do about that?
What is a femboy exactly?
Just that clip. Yeah, it's from that Matt Walsh
yeah
documentary. Did you see that dude at CPAC who's just like, who has like literally a fucking Wallace and Gromit face and is like, transgenderism needs to be extinct. Like he literally said that shit. He literally.
Wait, was he English? Was he
no,
British?
No. Oh man,
that would have made it.
He's just a normal guy, but man, if he was,
no,
because they only go from. That's the only mouths they have for Wallace and Gromit.
It's not like any gender I've ever heard of.
Yeah. The thing about those guys is that they're not great. they're not great.
Can I say something on that?
Yeah,
that I didn't get to say when we were talking about gender when Bryan was on.
Oh yeah.
Because I was like, I kept going like, what's the point of the categories there? Like really? And I said, you know, it's control, it's domination, it's to manipulate, control, you know, contain. And naturally, so many people hear that and they're like, well, you know, there are physical differences between, you know, human beings, right? Like that's just a scientific reality. And like my whole thing is, to what extent should those differences determine anything?
Right.
I'm like, a hospital health?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, pertains to them and them only, like their body.
Yeah.
So beyond that, what is the implication of you underscoring that?
Which also hasn't even been used for that like that.
Right.
Most scientific research, most medical research has been done on fucking men's bodies.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
As though everybody just whole cloth can be treated by the same metrics. So why then, when it comes to matters outside of people's health, are we now so concerned about the differences between men and women's bodies?
Right. I mean, it's right there. It's so obvious. It's right in front of your fucking face. You know? Like if you believe that men should dominate, just go Andrew Tate with it and say it. Just come out with it. Don't try and do this like listen.
Well, technically
the science doesn't care about all of that. It's like
technically speaking,
okay,
men's and women's
let's lean into the
need
logos
to be
here.
divided.
What is the point? What is the point beyond?
Right. And I feel like I've said this a couple times. I don't remember what I've said on the show and what I've said just in private. But like this whole notion of like we have to defend women's sports as though we give a fuck about women in any other context in the world. Like why are people who could not name...
It's always a guy who would actively shit on women's sports if it was on TV in any context.
Right.
Like, look at this. Maybe a real basketball game will come on soon after.
It's like if you can't name me a female athlete who does not have a fat ass, then you don't get to talk about this. You know, if you only know like gymnastics,
if you don't know any stats,
if you know like Serena Williams and only gymnasts, I don't give a fuck what you think about women's sports.
You're
I
not
don't
selling
care.
it. Yeah, you're not selling the argument.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And then they say all this shit about there's men in women's sports. I'm like, dog, it sounds, looking at the numbers, I feel like that's what would make you watch women's sports. So what is the, I don't understand what the problem is. You know?
Dude, and
it's sorry, I'm just it just feels like once you break it down to a certain level, it feels so explicitly like the last frontier of justifying
defense of domination,
justifying gender hierarchy. That it's like it feels very funny to say nobody watches women's sports in defense of women in a sense, but like it's so obviously the last thing that you have to hold on to justify these binaries, when everywhere else in life, in the world, it just doesn't fucking matter for any reason other than to dominate. And just look at a fucking household. Who does all the work in the household? I know we claim to be in this progressive, it's 2023, women are girl bosses now, but still are going home and doing 90% of domestic labor for no money. And then we use that to justify every other form of domination that's ever occurred throughout history. So like,
and it's something inherent, it's worth underscoring, it's something inherent in that gender binary that creates those circumstances to begin with. The fact that this person is woman and you are man. You are raised up to expect certain things from each other.
Right.
And it just so happens that the ones who are labeled women are expected to get the short end of the stick around a lot of different things.
And the ones who are men are raised to be fucking devastated if they don't effectively have a household full of servants. That's what a family effectively is, the way society is set up right now.
And they're expected to use their bodies as cannon fodder. And I'm a man. I have to be in pain. I just have to. I have to kill myself some way.
Gotta feel the burn, dude.
If you're not feeling that burn, you're not dog.
To that point about like you're holding on to you're just clinging to the last possible shit. This new trend of over the last 4 to 7 years of we got to save the children are at risk, they're gonna take the children, that combined with the Christianity sort of apexing now, we're afraid of demons, and they're look at Hollywood, I mean it's like literally like 90s bullshit. That's what's giving me, you want to talk about the seeds of something horrifying to come, that's giving me Christian white nationalist like ethno-state 100%. Fascist vibes out the ass, because they are clinging to they're like, this is the last, it's literally save the children. That's all we got left is save the fucking children.
Yeah.
And what's fucked also, someone was making, obviously a super reactionary point, but they were like, they posted a picture of like Amazon uses tape with like a intersectional LGBTQ like trans flag. And it's like, it makes my head hurt because that dichotomy benefits itself. It's like the liberal corporation using that benefits itself because it also ratchets up the tensions on the other side and vice versa. It's like I don't know, it keeps it in this game of
just like this binary of just
it's like
back and forth tension.
It literally, the fact that Amazon, this giant evil insane corporation, does that is so much easy fodder for every reactionary to be like, look, we don't have to give a shit that trans legislation on trans rights is going crazy. They have fucking Amazon, Jeff Bezos controls what happens to trans people.
They have power.
And it's like, isn't that just so convenient that that's there during all this? That all that's pumped up in all of our media. We're about to have the fucking Oscars. What the fuck do you think that's gonna be, right? It's fucking high school graduation, fucking the first ever this and this and that. It's fucking what is it called in the yearbook where it's like most likely to whatever. It's literally like that's what all these things turn into, and it's like I don't know, the way that feeds off of itself is crazy because people can't get outside of that. They can't be like, maybe this, both sides of this are bullshit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And to your point about kids, it's like we're willing to go and make all these like violent political campaigns and shoot up a fucking drag story time show or whatever. But we're not willing to.
Me.
But we're not willing to fucking even examine the structural possibilities of just like moving beyond this nuclear family dynamic and saying maybe that fucking phrase that we've been using that we grew up with, it takes a village to raise a fucking child. Maybe there's actually some merit to that. That thing that we've been hearing our whole fucking lives and never seen in practice. Like this is reminding me when we were talking about gender last time, but like the fact that we're at a period in history where people who believe themselves to be radical are like so adamantly defensive of this idea of a 2-parent household, when in reality most people throughout history would be like, just fucking 2?
Yeah,
that's all you got.
No aunts or uncles or cousins.
No
nothing.
aunts, uncles, cousins, no siblings. Taking like just 2 people, and they also got to go out all day.
They both drive
a
Beamer to work.
Right, and they got to put food on the fucking table. And a lot of people who are in this position also have a 9-to-5 taking care of other people's kids because those people don't have, like, what the fuck are we? What are we doing?
It's ridiculous.
It's fucking insane, bro. Like when you really think about it, like how does he? I don't even know how it works mathematically.
Dude, I don't even get how heterosexual people work. I don't even understand how that even works. I don't even know how that exists.
Right.
It's like, what, you've met every man? like, no man's ever just going to come and just confidently like suggest he give you head and you're going to say no, and you're just you know that 8 billion, you know that? You know that you're going to fire no to every request.
I don't know, dog. I'm pretty sure. I feel,
it's just a crazy arbitrary. And also, like, I refuse to believe any smart person is straight. I refuse to believe it. It's like, no, that brain's got gay shit happening. There's too much excess genius there. There's something going on.
Right.
To me, at this part of the conversation, it makes the domination versus freedom thing just even more stark and obvious. The choice the collective choice that we have to make. It's like when you look at this fucking mess, this hierarchical rigmarole. I mean, it's really ridiculous, man. When you look at all of that, but it's like, but maybe I can win and be in control and be the boss. And you weigh all of the odds and you choose that path of pain over just another path that requires a little tweaking of your maybe not a little, requires big tweaking of your thinking.
Right.
But in exchange for pleasure and happiness and joy and
just a generally better life at the end of the road, maybe even soon. Like, you're staring down the barrel of a life where you may not get your social security check when you turn 65. They might extend that deadline, push it 2 years because we just need old people to stick around the workforce. And this is all just on the backs of what is essentially a political choice, because they can always afford to pay out your social security. They make the numbers. They make those numbers. They can always afford it.
Oh man, I think
But my point being, you're staring down the barrel of that life where you might, after using your body as cannon fodder and destroying yourself trying to put food on the table for a family that you don't have the bandwidth to support
socially,
and you just don't think there's any value in even like considering another option.
Yeah.
You know, like I hit 30 years old last year. And I was just like, I'm by myself and this shit doesn't feel worth it anymore. I'm taking care of nobody. And I'm tired.
Right.
I would rather go down any other path than to say, let me just put a little bit to the side. Let me just put a little bit in my pension and just hope the money's still there once I, hope the economy doesn't conveniently crash, even though it does that every fucking couple of decades, even though it predictably does that every 7 years. Every 7 years. Like, let me just hope that it doesn't happen this time. Like,
yeah,
it's embarrassing.
I also just think we're staring down the barrel of a future where if like you're just like you're either like totally aware of what it is or you're on some level of convenient delusion. And
like what we were talking about last.
Yeah. The thing I forgot to mention was someone posted and this got a ton of people engaged with it. It was a deep fake of people in drag dancing around a classroom, like a bunch of very, very young children. And it was deep faked in. Like the dancers were from a separate video and it was put in a video that'll make it look like that. Right. And it was just getting shared around. It's like, yeah, we're like literally we're going into some absolutely unprecedentedly horrifying shit.
Yeah.
Your hope is that you can open up just enough space, just enough room for enough people who are just desperate and sick enough to just try and do something radically different at this point, you know? Right. That's what we're trying to do, but it's like,
and what's funny is
it still baffles a part of your mind how hard it is, even just to trying to convince people at the level of just logic and reason and dialogue.
Yeah.
It just baffles the mind. It's like, aren't you hurting? Doesn't this suck to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I also just feel like it's not even it's more practical than I think we give it credit for too. Like I don't even think it's that desperate what we're doing. I think it's like literally practical. I mean, sometimes I feel like we're just the guys who got to the we read all the Wikipedia articles, so we got to the end of it and we're like, yeah, this I think is what
this one makes
this
sense.
Actually makes sense. Now that I've really looked at all the cards on the table. This and I think it's just like people they got to get brought to it.
It's crazy, man. It's like the logic, it checks out so hard to where I'm like, if you disagree with what we're talking about, just the shit you're into is self-perpetuating, dog. Capitalism just goes, right. Like if you don't fuck with what we're saying, just don't do anything and get the fuck out of our way. We're trying to do something else.
Oh yeah, if you're
and like
ideas like a nation state or some shit, nothing we're doing would get in the way of that. Right. And also, like, what are you worried for us saying?
Not immediately.
What? What are you worried about us saying like we all got to do it together now? If you think it's a fucking nation state, don't you have a small expectation that'll just kind of happen on its own for you? Like you're probably one of those people that is like, well, things will get bad and then the revolutionary state will just kind of pop up and I'll be there for it, baby.
Right.
I'll be there for the memes. Platforms like YouTube, Patreon, Spotify, they're all ass. They don't respect your privacy, they're riddled with ads, and they're completely silent and unreachable when you need help. Have you ever talked to somebody at YouTube? Think about that. I sure haven't. To top it all off, we don't control them at all, despite being the reason they exist.
So that's why we're partnering with a design and development agency called 400 Million D&D to build our own cooperative alternatives that bring the best features of all those platforms together and that we can control together too.
We seriously got to have an exodus to some sort of digital Zion that we build ourselves. Somewhere where all of us can actually have a say over the technology that we're using to communicate with each other. For more on how you can support us all in getting off these shitty platforms, visit opencollective.com/digital Zion and tap in.
Just because these dystopian systems are eating themselves alive
doesn't mean they got to take us with them.
The irony of it all is that the examples of the revolutionary, quote unquote, revolutionary state that these examples that people always point to, they came off of unprecedented militant organization that does not exist here at all.
Right.
Not just that. In the case of the USSR, it was spontaneous democratic self-organization amongst peasants and labor that the Bolsheviks took advantage of to leverage for statecraft. They couldn't have done statecraft without that shit going on first.
Right.
That's the irony of it, right? So now you have a generation of all these multiple generations of young people that they're getting into these ideas and these concepts and these mythologies in some cases. I say I should have used scare quotes over getting into, because they don't understand the nuances or know about the nuances of this history, but they're starting it off with like, you know, with the chaos and the breakdown comes the opportunity for all of this stuff. And it's like all of this stuff, quote unquote, that you're pointing at in every scenario had a certain level of militant organization that we are not even relatively close to in this country right now.
Yeah. That's the thing that pisses me off. Like, just to insert this, the fucking consumer activism shit, because it's just like, we're doing this on top of what?
Right.
On top of what organization or infrastructure are we doing any of this? Is it what, an ecosystem of likes on social media? Is that literally all it is?
Right.
And that's somehow going to be some kind of awareness that you would hope gets picked up into a mainstream story on major networks, and then it shifts the dialogue, and somehow that affects legislation. Is this what we're doing?
Right.
And that is it? Because that seems like that's it.
I guess some of us are just about that life, dog.
What are you about to catch them all? Right?
No,
people really feel
real,
that themselves. They really feel themselves on that tip, though.
No, that shit is real.
It's just
though.
shrunken imagination.
Right.
It's like
and catharsis.
Well, they think because they could personally beat up Joe Biden that the rest is taken care of. Like I could fuck up Joe Biden if I wanted to. If I wanted to. Yeah. It's important to note that I'm not going to, but I could. It wouldn't even be close.
Joe Biden, I feel like you could kick one of his limbs off like an Army of Darkness zombie. Like, it would just clean come off.
Oh,
and
his
dust would fly off.
I feel like his legs would just snap off like one of those zombies that's just like on his like arms and knees, on his elbows.
He'd be a crawler at the end of a Black Ops zombie.
Oh yeah, he's done.
But see, I think it goes hand in hand, this emphasis on power that we constantly have, and being able to acknowledge the power dynamics, the reality of the power dynamics that we're currently living under too. And I think it makes sense that people who have these authoritarian personalities or mindsets, just it's not factored really into the equation in a concrete and practical way, because their desire for control over other people is that strong.
Right.
It's like, I need that now, you know?
Right.
Figures like Lenin were genius in the sense that they were politicians. They were great at manipulating scenarios and situations in order to then get that control and that power, you know?
I was less impressed by Lenin than I expected to be. He was, of course, a great man. He seemed to me a reincarnation of Cromwell, with exactly the same limitations that Cromwell had. Absolute orthodoxy. He thought a proposition could be proved by quoting a text in Marx. And he was quite incapable of supposing that there could be anything in Marx that wasn't right. And that struck me as rather limited. I disliked one other thing about him, which was his great readiness to stir up hatred. I put certain questions to him to see what his answer would be, and one of them was, you profess to be establishing socialism, but as far as the countryside is concerned, you seem to me to be establishing peasant proprietorship, which is a very different thing from agricultural socialism. And he said, oh, dear me, no, we're not establishing peasant proprietorship. He said, you see, there are poor peasants and rich peasants, and we stirred up the poor peasants against the rich peasants, and they soon hanged them to the nearest tree. Ha, 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 ha. I didn't much like that.
I've read a good amount of Lenin. I'm laughing. I'm just laughing thinking about why he was took shit about Lenin, man. You know, the common narrative. It's a mythology. What I'm about to say is it's a mythology. It's left folklore, right? Yeah. That, you know, Lenin, you know, he had good intentions, but this is like the critical folklore about Lenin, like the positively critical interpretation of critical Lenin.
Support. Yeah.
Right, critical support of, you know, he had these certain expectations, and he had these certain intentions, and they weren't like Stalin though. You know, it wasn't like Stalin was. You know, Stalin was the guy. If Lenin had
the bad cop.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. If Lenin had stayed alive, that shit wouldn't have gone down like that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have gone down like that.
If I was on that plane.
But the thing that's interesting is if you read Lenin, and especially early Lenin, before he was even like late 1800s, before he was even known. He said what? Before he got signed. He expressed this proclivity towards. It was you could perceive it as elitism. You know, he was like he was an elitist. He was an accelerationist. You know, like he believed that there needed to be immense suffering. There needed to be immense collapse and suffering and toil to sort of awaken stimulate the anger of the people that in reality, that's the energy he could take advantage of as an orator, especially. He was a brilliant speaker for these political aims.
But you have to understand that if Lenin had stayed alive, then we would have leaned in to communism. We would have leaned in. Stalin came along and he stalled the process. You have to understand these are the roots of these words.
Lending a hand to each other.
We're not lending a hand to
the whole point I'm making with this is to actually paint a picture of how bleak it actually is in some of these people's mindsets, because they don't even have that. They don't even have what he had to get that statist result.
Right.
They don't even have that. It's just this, and I think you gave the accurate context in calling it consumer activism, because I think that's at the root of it. It's just coffee talk. It's just like coffee table, whatever, wishful thinking and delusion, maybe in the worst of cases, or occults actually in the worst of cases, because that's a thing.
I think
it's a longer conversation, obviously, especially USSR history. There's lots of shades and whatever.
I'm sure everyone's gonna really be chill with what we're talking about.
Right. I'm gonna have to just cut this whole thing out.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's
we're not. No.
But like for the 30th time, it's like,
oh wait,
it's all.
Last
Go
thing,
ahead,
because I want to give people always ask for recommendations. Look into Gavril Myasnikov if you're interested in USSR history and the dynamics within the Bolshevik Party and Lenin specifically. That's a figure you want to look into.
Yeah.
There's more figures, but I'll just leave it at him because he's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
He was a Bolshevik, but yes.
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to say for the 30th time, just like it's all based on just like a deferral of political power. That's just so ground into our psyche at this point that we're just this delayed gratification that we get from the electoral process.
Right.
I mean, things like Social Security, all these things that it's somewhere down the line, we're just going to automatically have a better life, you know, as long as we keep plugging away. And
someone's going to do something.
Somebody's going to do something. Somebody's going to come along and save us. And it's all just ultimately grounded in powerlessness and this and is powerless and like a tacit awareness that the shit you're talking about is never coming. Like you never have to back up what you're saying. You know?
Right.
There's
always an excuse.
Yeah, exactly. it's scientific socialism. You just have to keep trying it, and it gets a little bit closer every time. Even though it doesn't for all the people that died on the way to get to where you are this time around. You know,
I wouldn't even call it scientific socialism.
I'm using their words. This is me using their words.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
because scientific implies critical inspection,
science.
Yeah, critical inspection and interrogation, and then
it's weird science.
Yeah, changing weird science.
Yes, the weird science.
No, but like, you think we and this is science not claimed by capital, right? It's like we'll change the we change the formula because this isn't working. Like this isn't getting this outcome that we're claiming it's supposed to get. So we change the form. That's not what's happening here. This is like mythology and tradition and all of those other things that you mentioned. Right. And it's also important to say a majority of people don't even fucking they don't even know about it to that degree. They're not even necessarily that conscious and aware around that level of intentionality. The broader nationalism stuff, even like certain things in organized religion and the hierarchies there and patriarchy, like, and white supremacy, these really broad sort of social systems of domination are what I feel like dovetail to create the circumstances that these fascists or proto-fascists would want to take advantage of, essentially. That's where I feel like we should be looking. That's where we should be facing, like, with these conversations. It's just like unpacking.
Say it again. I think.
Yeah.
All those sort of highways of oppression, you could say, routes of oppression are really like internal in nature. They like have a lot. They're very feelings based, and it's much easier to tackle economic oppression and think about what policy is. How can we make it so that money is distributed the fucking way? And it's like because we are averse to dynamics that are like inherently kind of like, I don't know, about the human emotional logical system.
Thank you for saying that, seriously, because like I think it's related to what I was just talking about in regards to 400 million and like cooperation around labor. And I was making a point about the subtle ways in which the more profit centric mindset can get in people's heads over where humans are actually at in the labor and in the day-to-day. And it's like that's one of the striking sort of like differences between what we're trying to do and what's commonly done, you know, even in like most cooperative spaces, because everything's hinged on the market, everything's hinged on capital and the dollar, even in the context where they're like, oh well, we're our own bosses now, or there's
makes it so one-dimensional. It's not like holistic.
And there's the bottom line, there's still bosses, even if it's you. There's a boss in your fucking head, you know.
And what's the capitalist going to do? It's going to say you need to fucking break your goddamn back to get this outcome to generate revenue.
Right.
And if you don't do that, you're not committed, or you're not, you know, so on and so forth.
Or you're not working here.
It's just like so fucking crazy, dude.
Speaking of that,
layers,
I was going to say earlier, I do not have work tomorrow, so we're chilling. Because the capitalists decided to lay me off. The most out of the blue I've ever been removed of employment in my life. It was crazy.
Yeah. Welcome to the club.
It was literally a 2-hour meeting the day before where like the person who fired me was like looking at me in the eye and like making sure like I really understood like what we were talking about. I was gonna need to know, and it was just like, yeah, it was wild.
Yeah,
it was a wild time.
Just fully dissociative communication style.
It was like, really bizarre, and they were like, "This is literally just to save money." Like, this is not personal.
Wow.
We are literally
it was never personal. I don't know what
we are
your
like,
manager
this
told
is
you.
just business.
I don't know what your manager said to you. They lied to you. If they were like a family, I'll be the one to tell you that. It
You
was
are
business.
merely a sort of a gear
Yeah.
in a complex machine. We gotta take you out.
Yeah.
You have
Take
to,
your socket out of
Right.
you have to understand that we have feelings too.
it. Yeah.
I shed a single tear when I had to fire
What?
400,000
Let me put a
employees.
hypothetical question to y'all.
Go ahead. Yeah.
What sort of critical mass of people in this country do you think we would need to see radically reorganized along the lines that we're talking about in order to make those types go fuck this shit? I'm talking about the ones doing the firing, the middle management.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question to me because
Well, once you've reached middle management, that's like the last batch
Yeah.
you probably need.
Yeah.
but do you get what I'm
All their
saying?
Who
dominoes
else is there
fall.
to?
But I'm saying if,
Yeah.
how many people
I don't
do you think, and what would it need to look
mean,
like?
That 3
Yeah.
million number sounds
3 million is the number.
sounds nice.
Yeah. Right.
You know, it could just be a couple million. I don't know.
Yeah.
But for
I'm
them to
almost
go,
like-
oh,
It
this
could
looks
be
better.
way less than that. I don't even
Right.
know.
I'm almost like the size of that town in Last of Us could be enough.
Who knows?
As long as it just looks like it works.
It's literally
you know?
yeah. It's literally
Like-
literally a matter of like if people
It's
are
true. That's unfortunately that's how people
Yeah.
operate.
if people are doing it like with actual good practice, it's really just a matter of what's the point? Where's the hockey puck part of the graph where
Yeah.
it just
We're just
hockey stick,
everyone
yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
You
where's
know-
the hockey puck part of the graph?
where everyone
it goes
fuck
in a
this,
circle.
fuck this,
Right.
fuck this. Yeah,
It's a pie chart.
Yeah, where's the hockey puck part of the pie chart? Right?
The whole thing.
When does that come into play?
It's the whole
screaming in a
it's-
conference room. They
yeah.
don't know what you're
It's like
talking about.
it's the whole chart, sir.
Yeah.
It's the whole chart.
This is
yeah.
Q4.
You know what? Like, I don't know. Online discourse leads me to believe that it could be any size community as long as there's some equivalent of an iPhone. As long as people have access to some type of version of the iPhone. That seems to be what it.
Are you talking about like what people need?
I mean, in terms of like.
what people think they need, I guess.
Yeah.
right.
And I'm just like.
So I'm like,
when
I almost don't want the iPhone.
Yeah,
I
same.
absolutely. I
Same.
still don't have it. I just ordered a flip phone the other day. I'm trying to backtrack.
Well,
you
we
know?
all
He's
still-
trying to break bad and
I'm
shit.
trying to break bad.
Yeah, but
That's why he's got the flip phone and shit.
But until then, we all have iPhones, and it's a little. We like iMessage group chats.
I need a
and,
burner that still has Google Chrome.
Like you can say like congratulations to someone in an iMessage group chat, and like we can't do that if you're in a.
Mr. White, I got a flip phone with modern apps. I can't wait to swipe on Hinge, but with T9.
Yeah, I got Cricket, Mr. White.
Cricket Wireless.
Cricket Wireless. It's actually underrated.
Every line is said like, "Can't you see I'm walking here?" Like that's the delivery of every line. I have to go take a shit and shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god! You know what that reminds me of is dudes.
You good?
You okay?
Just heard drops and driplets in the back. It's like, is
Probably the heat, maybe the heating
Yeah.
pipes. Yeah,
that what that is?
yeah, probably.
Yellow spotted.
You should,
Have,
you should pull it up on me.
You might as well. We've referenced it so
Yeah.
many times.
Have either of y'all seen the Wu-Tang series?
Oh man, I
Bro.
watched like the first episode of that.
The first I'm like halfway through season 2. It's
Oh, wow.
insane. I don't
In
know
a good
what-
way.
I'm addicted. I don't know. But
Yeah.
it's just so
This was with RZA narrating.
he's not narrating. He's
Oh,
just fully
okay.
in the show, but he's just like such a vehicle for exposition. And the way he talk, he's just like, we gotta go find Dirty. We gotta go find Dirty so that we have this meeting with Electro Records. We got a meeting with Electro Records, and we can't even do his voice right now.
He's like,
yeah, it's kind of like
Yeah, I was about to say,
goofy. It's sort of
he
like
No, his
he
voice
wouldn't
in
be
the
the
show-
first person I'd want narrating anything.
his voice in the show is so like it's almost
so
the same
mean.
as his voice in the show is almost the same as Jesse Pinkman. He's just like, we gotta find
That's
Dirty.
true.
We gotta go find Dirty.
Yeah.
He's been missing for a couple of days, and we got this meeting with Elektra Records. We gotta we gotta get this record done so that we can pay back our advance.
Wow.
We owe them $100,000 that we don't have.
I forgot like every Wu-Tang song ever. I gotta go back and listen.
Yeah.
for some reason I can't.
I used to listen to that one. 36 Chambers, one of the
You won't die,
favorites.
usually.
Oh no, this is
You
perfect.
don't want to get bit by a yellow-spotted lizard. That is the worst thing that can happen to you. You will die a slow and painful death. Always.
John fucking
Ew.
Boyd.
Did they just use the same?
Yellow spotted lizard.
Did they just use the same shot of him looking up?
It's
twice?
frilled dragon attack scene, I think is what it is.
Oh, like where he's actually doing it?
Yeah. He's like, there's yellow spotted lizards all over.
Yellow-spotted lizards.
Oh, what a goofy goober.
This is the it's fucking a minute long. Okay.
That's why they call it Dirt Movie.
All people recording on their TVs too.
Yeah, like it's a rare
torrent,
movie.
Like
Yeah.
torrents don't exist.
It's like it's not.
It's still why don't you? God damn.
Man, he pings him in the face. Yeah, this is where he says it.
Get your stuff.
What is with the audio? It's like ruffling
Get
his
yourself a
sweater.
good sleep, son.
Yes, sir.
What the
There's
fuck
fucking
is this?
no
There's
audio.
no
What is it?
audio. This is 17,000 views. Okay, I heard a gun. I heard a
Yo.
gunshot.
17,000 views.
Bro,
Wow. Okay.
God.
Shia LaBeouf is really good at looking like he has no teeth in his mouth.
I don't know how to find this. I think that was the best I could do on that.
No, that's
Yeah.
fun. That was a thrill. You got to see his eyes. You know, you got to see how
Right.
big as wide his eyes got.
Right.
That's really the important part. Yellow spotted lizards.
Oh, don't worry. This here's for yellow-spotted lizards. I wouldn't waste a bullet on you.
He's in Heat also. I
He's
don't know
also
the
a
last-
Trumper.
Oh, I mean, he's a psychopath. He's like Donald Trump.
Oh,
He's the
John-
greatest president we've ever had since
John-
Abraham Lincoln.
Ooh, John
Did
Did he
literally-
really say that?
John Voight said
Abraham Lincoln. He didn't even say
Wow.
Reagan.
Wow.
I think Abraham Lincoln, literally, since George Washington.
Greatest since Eisenhower.
Yeah, it's so funny when like old white men get pissed off about like Bill Maher getting pissed off about like, so now we can't like Abraham Lincoln anymore.
Oh
You
my
know?
God, bro.
Did he really say that?
Yeah. I saw some clip on TikTok. I don't remember
So
actually.
now
Bro,
we're
I-
rejecting the mythos of empire. Huh?
Wow.
Colonial narratives are
Wow.
completely out now,
How do
huh?
I fit into that as a rich man?
Rich white man.
A rich white man. Where's my angle to that?
I guess next we're gonna cancel the guys who committed the My Lai massacre.
So much reactionary shit is people just being mad at the idea that they'd have to reconsider something.
Yeah.
Literally, because
Right.
it's not even materially your life. Like,
Right,
so what
it
do
doesn't
I got to
matter.
do as a
Right,
totally generationally
Right.
wealthy, secure, white, rich man?
Right,
It's like, I
right.
don't know, shut the fuck up and play golf and literally just
Right.
shut the fuck up.
Right.
Right.
You
Or
don't
get the fuck out of the way. Don't like,
right. You
don't
don't
vote for people to like literally go to gulags. You fucking
Right.
freak.
You don't have to
Right.
do a new fucking stand-up special every couple of years where you dress like Kim Jong Il. Like you.
Y'all gotta
Dude.
talk about the Chris Rock. I haven't
Oh,
watched the Chris
oh,
Rock
like,
shit.
Jesus
I watched the
Christ,
whole
bro.
thing.
Me
Actually,
too.
no, I didn't. I
I
turned
fin-
it off when he called Jada a bitch. I was just like, all right.
I finished it, bro. I finished it.
I didn't need to see the rest of it after that. I was like, wow, you're one of the saddest people I've ever that is one of the saddest.
I saw
things
that weird ass fit he was wearing. That's for what's up with him and Dave trying to be fat? Just stop.
Bro, I don't understand. Like
he's wearing these like moon shoes or something with skinny
wasn't
white.
he wearing
just like
the
white
Prince
dots,
logo?
Right? Yeah, he was.
Or some shit?
Yeah,
or was it
Prince
just an
necklace.
Ankh? But no, it was like a purple. It was like a
Prince.
purple diamond Prince logo chain.
It was
What?
It was Prince. It
And
was
then
the
an all
the love
white
symbol.
like outfit.
Yeah, with the white docs.
They're like toddlers, man.
Bro, I don't.
They really act like children.
I don't know who the fuck is in their ear. First of all, like style wise, I don't know like who is telling you to do. Who is telling Dave Chappelle to wear these long shirts, these long tight shirts that just hug the butt?
Unpack the special for me though, because I didn't watch it. Like, what is he? What is his like?
Right out the gate, he's like, "I'm gonna try to do an hour of comedy and not offend nobody."
Right.
That is
but
the
you
most,
never know.
That is so.
You never know.
That is so liberal. It's disgusting.
The amount of different.
Like, I'm so.
You know what I mean?
I'm so fucking tired, bro. Like,
or conservative, liberal or conservative.
They're all fucking conservative to me. They're
like
shit.
They try to be culturally like liberal, but they're like conservative in every other way.
They just vote Democrat.
I
That's
realize
all it is,
I
right?
realize like there's a whole generation of comedians where you have to be misogynistic to fit the style of comedy they're doing. You literally have to be. And he's like, yeah, I'm throwing it back to when we had Edge, and Edge literally just means being misogynistic.
Right.
That's all it is.
Right.
That's the biggest flavor profile splash that these guys rely on.
Right. And it's like the bit that's striking me right now is like the just dog shit abortion joke where I'm like, you pretend to be like pro woman or whatever, but it's still this implication of like a weird power dynamic where you're like, I support abortion. If you think I shouldn't be talking about abortion because it's a woman's issue or whatever, just know I've paid for more abortions than any woman in this room.
Right. Well, it's all like, baked within this idea that men don't need to be held accountable for anything.
Exactly.
That's the other, especially if they're rich.
Yeah.
They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Right. I can throw money at it and I'm no longer accountable.
Right.
The one joke, literally the one time I laughed and then he immediately ruined it was when he said, because I think there is a decent point in here when he said, if he was like, ladies, if you have to pay for your abortion, you should get an abortion.
Right. That's
a
good joke.
Well-structured joke.
Yeah.
But then immediately...
Well, to be clear, he got me to giggle a couple of times. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
that's the only time.
Yeah.
But then he immediately flipped it when he was like, you gotta stop letting broke dicks come in you.
Well, yeah, then he would just say something that I'm like, you're fucking 58, dog.
Yeah.
You were literally, I don't even know when you were born.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even do the math on that.
Right.
What was his line again? He said, if you can what? If you...
Roger wrench.
Wait, what? Which part?
An abortion. You're saying
if you have to pay for your own abortion, you should get an abortion.
Okay, I see the joke.
Yeah, which is like, yeah, if a man refuses to pay for it or something like that, then yeah, you don't need to be that with that man. And maybe there's arguments like if you just want to have the kid by yourself, sure, but like
more gender, it's all steeped in the
what would have been the coolest thing
right.
is if he just apologized and became close friends with Will Smith, and together they healed. That would have been so much cooler than this corny bullshit of a year later, after getting smacked and then saying nothing and doing nothing in the moment.
Right.
You then do a whole special that's all toxic masculinity.
Right.
And at the end of it, on your own merits of toxic masculinity, you are not winning in this situation.
Right.
You're a fucking loser by those merits.
Exactly. Right. Like to wait a year and then posture like you did. And that's part of what bothers me about it is because Will Smith has tried to contact this man. And look, I don't give a fuck about Will Smith. But like he's tried.
I do. Okay.
What? White guys love Will Smith. But the fact that
you don't want nada.
the fact that The fact that Will Smith is like tried to reach out to
Black bands on, hypnotizer, normalizer.
I mean, dog, I did have the Burger King sunglasses for like 15 years.
Oh, I had the Wild Wild West ones.
Those are the Burger King ones.
Yeah.
Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah. But
in Wild Wild West is the villain.
He have the spider legs, doesn't he? He has the spider legs that you want Trump to have?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want you to remember what you want to say, but I just remembered the funniest video of I almost don't want to spoil it, but I have to.
I can squeeze this in while you pull it up.
Oh, okay.
It's
Perfect.
I was just gonna say the fact that Will Smith has reached out to Chris Rock, but you get this. It almost feels like he postponed reconciliation so that he can get these jokes out a year later. You know, it's like it's embarrassing. It's like it feels like you're sacrificing your personal relationship.
One, you look so butthurt. Two,
yeah.
It's not even funny to be mad about it or to have the angle you're taking from it. To like actually do judo with it and do this thing of like, yeah, I get that. I wanted to go smack so and so when I like. There were so many missed opportunities, and it's all just I don't know. It's all because we just.
Do you want to know how he ends this shit?
I don't know.
Do you want to know how he ends this shit?
How he
ends the special?
After calling Will Smith's wife a bitch.
Yeah.
On his live stream Netflix special at 58. What does he say?
He's like, everybody asked me, Chris, why didn't you do nothing when he came up and hit you? He goes through this whole thing about how Will Smith is way bigger than him, which sure makes sense. But he's like, why didn't you do nothing, Chris? Why didn't you do nothing? And he goes, because I have parents who raised me, and they told me to never fight in front of white people.
Right.
And people thought that was the most profound line.
He literally dropped the mic. Like damn near
Twitter
threw,
got his ass.
threw the mic.
What an embarrassing.
He threw the mic?
He like threw the mic.
And you know what my parents taught me? Don't fight in front of white people.
Oh, that makes me want to cringe. That makes me cringe all over my body.
My parents told me that my bodily autonomy is less important than the white gaze.
Right.
That's what they told me.
Right.
They raised me to put my self-defense to the side just so that white people don't view black people in a way that they were going to view them anyway.
Right.
Holy
Mic
shit.
drop.
Dog.
So sad.
I can't even process that shit.
Think about him, the
sad.
impact of him perpetuating that sort of thinking, legitimizing that sort of thinking to millions of people.
Dog.
And then people
reinforcing white supremacy also in that. Like this power dynamic should be assumed.
Right.
And this is how we have to operate within it.
Yep. That little cop in your head, just hold on to that.
People were dropping the talking funny clip with him and Louis just as a response to that of like, you sure?
Right.
Like you were talking about in front of white people shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
All right.
God damn, bro.
Are y'all ready for this? Wild Wild West.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's
history and
go.
lore.
Please.
Yes.
I'm not even gonna describe it. I'm just gonna play it.
Oh, I love it. Oh. This rules. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stevie Wonder.
Yo.
Yo, the 90s were crazy as fuck.
Bro. If he could see how everyone was dressed around him in that.
He's standing there like he's hard as fuck.
Oh my God.
In a cowboy.
Wow. Oh my God,
my favorite
bro.
bit. I'm sorry, I gotta rewind. My favorite bit is the little shimmy that he does.
Yo.
He slowly moves his hat away from his face. That's my favorite moment. And then when he goes, Stevie! Like he sings his name.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh my God.
Dog.
Imagine being a grown man.
It's a wild west, yo. A wiki wild
You're
west.
a grown man. You're an adult.
Yo. Imagine
And your wife is like, do not
These
fuck
are for,
up
these,
the
these are
cowboy
for
dance.
adults.
Bro.
This is for adults. Like this isn't for kids.
Imagine you wrap this performance and then you just get a call. It's like, yeah, the Matrix just grossed $45 billion.
Yes.
Right.
This movie's a stinker, but people on MTV are loving it.
Yeah, but thank God I chose this over being Neo.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Wait, is there some history there that I don't know about?
He was supposed to be Neo.
Really?
Will
Yeah,
Smith
yeah.
turned
He
down
turned
The
it
Matrix to do Wild Wild West.
I got to talk to Lily about this.
Yeah.
Dude.
Okay, this is from him.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a Cinema Blend
I
article
just
on
always
Yeah.
think about how he said the reason he was so motivated to become the best actor in the world or the biggest actor in the world was because no girl would ever cheat on him ever again if he became the biggest actor in the world. And he said that at a fucking like Hollywood Reporter round table with like De Niro sitting there and shit, and they're all just like, yeah, I get what and everyone's like, okay.
Speaking
And
of
I'm just
weird
thinking, like,
motivations for
Right.
career decisions.
yeah, it's just
Right.
like seeing him in a full cowboy suit, knowing he's just like, no one's cheating on me now.
Nobody's cheating on me.
Now that I'm in Wild Wild West,
Ha.
I'm a cowboy.
Oh. I love Sisqo, by the way. Sisqo can do no wrong. Sisqo can do no wrong. I mean that unironically.
Fire
I
outfit.
believe
Creatively,
I'm with you.
any context, I can hop with him into any context he wants to go into.
I'm with you,
creatively.
bro.
He needs an energy drink.
He doesn't. Oh, like a
He
brand.
needs one.
Like he doesn't
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
take one.
No, he
needs a
doesn't need
brand.
one in real life. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, you gotta like link up with those juice trucks.
yeah, dude.
You know the juice trucks. The
And I could go
Sisqo?
for a bed.
There's a video. I can't remember which Sisqo video it is. Where it's like a short film. Unleash the Dragon. Or is it the video for Unleash the Dragon? Where there's like a dragon and he's like flipping around.
When he's
and-
unleashing it.
I wish my internet wasn't such shit here. But yeah, the thong song video is like the big thing everyone points to is like,
Yeah.
wow, this is like amazing and hilarious at the same time.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, this is one GIF that I can find, and it's get going.
That is quite something.
There's GIFs of him like flipping and twisting around in the air, and Zach just texts me them all the time, just randomly, just to remind me
It's just good
of what it means to actually live a creatively fulfilled life.
Yeah.
I found it.
Yeah.
I found the best one.
To have hair that looks like it was drawn on with a gel pen.
It's going.
That's so
I
fucking
love-
sick.
Yeah, this
dude.
is the one Zach spams. Like,
See, like, why doesn't Yeet have videos like this? Like,
I
why
love
don't we have creative videos like this?
I love that so much.
I love the color grading too.
Dude,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I love it.
Like, this can't be. There's no way this is north of 2003. Like, this has got to be earlier than that.
Right. Yeah, this is incredible.
Oh wait, I got another one for y'all. Hold on. We just do this for like 40 minutes. Right?
Yes, I'm
not
totally
even watching
down.
the actual video, just looking at the GIFs.
Oh my
Wow,
god.
he slipped them up.
Wow.
I just really love anime. Like I've
Yeah.
always like I love anime too. Like he has like a little list.
Is he wearing the fucking Canada jacket or some shit?
Right.
This is making me for some reason think of the shitty Godzilla movie that came out in the with Matthew Broderick. Maybe we've talked about it.
Oh, I've never seen it.
The one there where they gave.
I know they have little Godzillas though come out of eggs.
Yeah, they gave Godzilla.
Really?
They gave Godzilla a pregnancy test, a human pregnancy test.
Ferris Bueller getting attacked by a Godzilla baby.
I remember my dad taking me to see that in theaters, but I don't actually remember watching it.
I think I remember them stealing a scene from Jurassic Park, and I remember them giving Godzilla a pregnancy test.
What, the water going?
Well, that
Maybe.
and also I think
I haven't seen it.
the like Godzilla babies. I remember just is like, I think there's a scene in Jurassic Park where they're like hiding from raptors in a kitchen, and I think that scene is also in Godzilla. I don't know. You can call it an homage, I guess, but like,
I may not like it anymore. I haven't seen it in a long time. I don't know how it holds up, but I used to really like Cloverfield.
oh yeah,
I used to like.
What's
I
the
forgot about Cloverfield. Shit.
What's the first? Maybe we talked about it. What's the first movie y'all remember seeing in theaters?
It might be Toy Story 2 or something before that. But
I
think
realized
Toy
in
Story
recent years that I think for me it was actually Anastasia
Oh yeah,
with Aaliyah on the soundtrack.
yeah.
It was in 1997. I remember being taken to the theater to see that.
I think 1997 is probably the year, and I think it was Toy Story 2 that I saw. I think.
And then I
like
remember Bug's Life.
I think I
after
remember.
that.
I remember Power Rangers Turbo.
The fuck is that? Dude?
Yeah, I'm not his.
Oh,
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah,
Power Rangers movie is sick.
yeah. Have we talked about how Buckethead did that theme song?
You've mentioned that. I don't know
Weird
if on the
comment.
show, but that's
Yeah.
fucking sick.
Yeah, bro. It's fucking insane.
That makes sense because he's the
Came
goat
out in
at that shit.
'97. Holy shit!
Yeah.
So our movie memories are
What?
Yeah.
all
Toy
in
Story
90
did?
are all in '97.
Which is crazy because I'm
No, Turbo
oh.
Power Rangers Turbo.
Yeah, and that's crazy because I'm a couple years older than y'all.
Wow. We
I
got to
loved
this
Power
cinema.
Rangers as a kid.
Yeah, bro, me too. I think that was
Like the toys.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I think that's the last movie I remember going to with my parents.
With them
Wow.
ugly ass whips.
Uh-huh.
Man, I want the robots with them whips for.
Uh-huh.
Dude, what was that shit I sent you on Twitter, the name of that shit?
The Macross shit?
Macross.
Bro.
Holy shit.
Have
The
we-
Macross OVAs?
Yeah,
The
did we-
animation?
First of all, we definitely got to watch those. Did we also talk about how Bryan Cranston is the voice of
Yeah.
the main
Yeah.
guy?
That was the fucking...
Yeah.
Someone was saying they were rewatching it just for that, but they
Yeah.
didn't realize how good the animation was.
Yeah,
That
bro,
was like-
it's fucking...
Oh, fucking great, man.
I was thinking on Bryan Cranston. I saw he was like trending the other day or a few days ago, or
Yeah.
did you or last week? I don't. My sense of time is.
Oh,
fucked.
because
Did you
he's
see
like,
this?
these MAGA guys are racist.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everyone's
Oh,
like, what
yeah.
the fuck are you talking
Yeah,
about?
right.
Well, he was specifically making like he was saying like the white privilege sort of
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
and it made me wonder, like, damn, like how many of these folks are like sort of like they're just catching up to like 2016
Oh, yeah.
discourse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really interesting
Yeah.
to see. But then on the other hand, we have Woody Harrelson doing interviews where he's like literally talking about power and whatever. He said he was
Right.
an anarchist and a Marxist. He said he was both of
Woody
these things.
Harrelson.
Did you see this interview?
No.
He
I
said-
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yes.
was saying on point shit. I mean, he was just like,
Yeah.
I just
but
retweeted it if you want to play the clip. It's on my Twitter.
the Macross clip. Did you see
And
the?
it's just incredible
uh,
animation.
Yeah. Did you see the clip of Bryan Cranston talking about how he was wanted for murder at one point?
Really?
Bryan
Yeah.
Cranston was wanted for murder?
Yeah, he's telling a story like he's like, my brother and I, we worked in a kitchen.
We were plumbers.
We worked in a kitchen, and there was this guy, Peter. Everyone hated Peter, and we talked about how we would kill Peter.
Wow.
And then later, Peter was murdered.
Wow.
There's gotta be someone better than these slackers.
That's him, yeah.
Wow.
It's insane.
The beginning of the clip is crazy, too.
Yeah.
When all the missiles come out. Puts that
Yeah.
shield on.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
But this shit,
Yeah.
bro, it's insane.
There's There's gotta be someone better than these slackers.
Slackers.
Yeah.
Jesse.
I just think of the clip of
looks so
Bryan
fucking
Cranston.
amazing.
Like, he was like, when you are acting, you just say yes to every role and don't even ask how much it's paying.
Yeah.
You remember that? He's
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, I never asked. And I'm like,
the money.
you can negotiate up at least a
Right.
little bit, probably. Like, you
Yeah.
wouldn't even fucking ask for your own good.
I think he was like,
I have people that do that for me, and I
Yeah.
don't even ask about the money.
Yeah.
I say, is it good? And they say yes, and I take the job.
Yeah. So if they say I'm going to be in Macross, a young Gundam pilot, then I'm going to do
Then
it.
I'll be in Macross.
Yeah, I'll be in Macross. And then Malcolm in the Middle. And then Breaking Bad.
Later adapted into Robotech.
He's
Man, I
in
used
some
to
fucking
watch
show
the
where he's
shit
got-
out of Malcolm in the Middle.
oh, bro, me too.
I never really did.
I love that show.
Like regularly, all the time, I would watch that show. Dewey was like my favorite. It
Yeah.
was just so funny.
I thought Reese was so funny.
I'm realizing that I played more video games than I watched TV as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely watched a lot of TV, but
Yeah.
people they say they watch TV and they don't.
I watched
quite as
hella
much.
TV as a kid.
I just watched it at specific hours. I was in a no TV during the week house. So I watched like right after school when my mom wasn't home yet, or like early in the morning if I woke up and watched Hamtaro.
I had a period where I faked sick, 3rd grade,
Oh yeah, I did
to
that too.
watch TV
I did that too.
unrestricted.
You know what was the single most important television event of my entire life? Because now none of them are important. But you know the single most important one? Back when you thought you would literally miss some shit and just that was it? Gendy Tartakovsky Clone Wars. When those were premiering on Cartoon Network, I have never had so much stress as a child to make sure I tuned into something.
Yeah, I remember the only time I ever like had an issue with not being able to watch TV, I cried. I cried when I knew the fight between Goku and Frieza was about to end, and I couldn't watch it.
Wow.
This man
I
really an
convinced-
anime nigga.
I convinced my mom to let me watch it.
I never cried watching TV.
I cried
That's
when
how
I was-
you know he a
I-
real anime nigga.
Also was there the first day Cowboy Bebop dropped on Adult Swim. I was at my uncle's house and he wouldn't let my cousin watch it. Remember that? 2001.
I didn't cry, but I had an anger tantrum when in 9th grade when I was close to getting a nuke in Call of Duty, and my father was like, "No, we have to leave right now," and I'm like, "You don't understand," and he was like, "We have to leave right now," and I was very upset, and I actually did cry at Modern Warfare 2 because it was so unbalanced. It made me upset.
Wow.
My dad took Nightfire away from my brother and I.
Wow.
Oh my
and we never saw it ever again.
Wow.
That's
like
that's
shooting
how,
one of your childhood friends.
That's
in the head.
how my parents would be ruthless with shit like that.
Yeah.
If they were angry or felt like, you know, we slighted them or stepped over their, you know, beyond their code or whatever, they would be on some like turn the power off as you're playing.
Oh.
Whatever type shit, and we're gonna take the console away, you know.
Damn.
But the game Nightfire always stuck with me because
What console? GameCube.
GameCube,
yeah.
because we literally never saw it again.
Yeah.
Because he
best
lost it, mind you.
I remember this.
He took it away and then he put it somewhere and he lost
He was
it.
like, "Oh, we sold it,"
and then did this like prideful sort of like, I don't know, you know, like until we forgot about it. We never forget.
He was just like, just get an emulator.
We got a PC in the house.
Yeah, just download an emulator of it.
I wanted to say as a kid, I'm embarrassed to say, I was a Disney kid. But it's only because my parents.
Whoa!
But it's only because my parents wouldn't let me, you know, look at anything else. So I was running through, I mean, you name it. The cartoons, the Disney Channel original movies. I used to be really excited about those, like when a new one was coming out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course. But like Tailspin. I love Tailspin.
Tailspin I loved.
Did you ever watch Tailspin?
Is that the DuckTales shit?
No. No, that was
they're all
that
the
was
same.
DuckTales.
They're all the same kind of like style, but it's a different.
Tailspin was. What were they? What animals were they?
It was a bear.
Bear.
I'll pull it up. I loved Tailspin. Oh yeah. And then there was a Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, which everybody knows.
There was the Hercules series for a little bit.
I remember being a kid and I hated all of those shows because the quality was so shit compared to the film.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get out, and the voice actors I could tell were different as a kid. So I would be like, there's something off. I can't get invested here. It's funny to think about that because they're like, oh, the kids, they won't even fucking notice, they won't even fucking. But I didn't watch the show because of that.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom taking me into work. Her work one time. This is Tailspin.
Yeah, like these are the type of shows that I feel our age gap just ever so slightly. Because I didn't watch this.
Well, here's the thing. They were reruns for, this is like late 80s probably, or like before I was born.
But they were blasting the shit on ABC
it.
Family type shit?
Yeah.
On Disney Channel.
On Disney Channel?
Yeah.
What was the first anime y'all ever watched?
Probably Dragon Ball Z. Maybe like Sailor Moon. Whichever one.
I think
was
Sailor Moon was my first.
I think it might be Sailor Moon because they were playing that. Maybe even.
Does
Transformers count as an anime?
Yeah. Who does what?
Transformers count as an anime since it's like mecha? Probably not though, right? It's more like G.I. Joe animation type shit.
But
yeah, probably
a lot
Sailor
of stuff
Moon.
like that was done by anime studios.
Mm.
There's like a whole wave of Christian cartoons done by anime studios.
I was gonna say Darkwing Duck though.
I love Darkwing Duck.
We had to wait at her job one night, and they had those like roll TVs on the stands, and then they put Darkwing Duck in.
Yeah, I auditioned for the reboot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
He went to Bobby Moynihan.
Oh wow.
Shout out Bobby Moynihan.
And a Goof Troop.
Yes.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Goof
So
Troop.
good.
The
Yeah.
Navy SEAL squadron.
Yeah.
Of Goofies that go in different villas and do operations.
The dude who
Speed Racer, by the way, was my first anime.
Oh, okay.
If you want to talk about age gaps, it's probably 3 years was long enough.
You were like, I was there when it came out. Speed Racer.
Why am I blanking on his name? Is it Phil Perry? Yeah, sang the theme song.
Phil Perry did?
Yeah, for Goof Troop.
And I always stick together.
You guys saw Phantom Menace in theaters, right?
Best of friends forever.
You said what?
You saw Phantom Menace in theaters, right?
I think I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Return of the King, or no, Two Towers, or the
Yeah.
I never saw any of them in theaters.
Yeah,
I was too young.
My dad always just got bootlegs, but I did see Phantom Menace in theaters.
Yeah.
I saw Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets also in theaters. And I remember I got the big Dobby popcorn plastic bucket.
I had full-blown birthday parties for the first and second Harry Potter movies.
Wow.
Because they came out for my birthday, like right around my birthday.
Wow.
So I'm talking like 12 kids like coming to a theater with me, and then all of them spending the night at my house after.
Amazing.
For the first two movies, and it's like when you're hosting a birthday party at that age, like every kid is a super asshole, like selfish piece of shit. And it's a funny story because my dad, all the presents, for some reason, like we took them with us to the theater to open up in line for the movie. This was back when movies had fucking lines. And my dad, sure.
Wow. I just found the popcorn bucket. I don't know if Dobby was actually on it, but this is what I was thinking about.
Wow.
See, November 15th, my birthday is November 30th. So it's like, it was perfect.
Right.
My dad accidentally threw away all the presents during that party on accident and then found them before they got tarnished.
You know what I don't remember if I ever saw this in theaters, but I remember seeing the promos up for it for what felt like years. Like it felt like every time I was in a theater, there were posters and like the little silhouettes for it, the cutout silhouettes for Batman and Robin. It felt like it just went on forever. Like they just never stopped promoting it. Like I don't know if
you just waited to clean up the promotional materials.
Batman and Robin, there's like like, you know how like a lot of theaters will just have like giant murals of like promotional shots of movies that are only made from like 1998 to 2000 for some reason. And it's always like Rush Hour and like Batman and Robin. Yeah.
Right. This is entirely unrelated, but I watched a very interesting video earlier today about
vanilla,
maybe about vanilla, and how Michael Jackson smells like. Maybe I've been subconsciously trying to reroute the conversation to anime, because I watched a video about why there's so much fucking anime getting made right now, even though there seems to be no money in the industry. Like people that make anime don't get paid shit. It was a former exec at Gainax has a YouTube channel now where he
Gainax.
He just complains.
Yeah.
It's all bad. It's terrible, this anime.
And who's the guy?
Who's the guy? Where are the snacks?
But he was explaining that, like, most anime is done by committee. They have production committees for all these shows and films and all that stuff. So like in the credits, I guess you'll see Otomo's name, but you'll also see for Akira, you'll see the Akira committee did it, and it's not like a studio or a production company. So basically you just have companies come in and invest a certain amount of money. And basically here, for a film or TV show, if a company wants to invest in your shit, they just throw money at you and you can accept whatever amount of money. And there's no cap on it. Meanwhile, over there, basically, I guess it's customary for them to only have like one like industry per investment, I guess. So like each company is a different aspect of the filmmaking process, or something.
You're referring to like holding companies? Like sort of like the parent companies bankrolling the production. Yeah. And they'll participate in the production process to a different extent. But like they basically are fighting over controlling interest in the production of these. I guess this is in reference to shows. So they're fighting for a controlling interest in the show, and they want like 30 to 40%. And so what they'll do is effectively cap the production budget of a show by saying, I want this amount of money for 50% of the production. And they'll say, I'm putting in $1 million. I want 50% control, and effectively cap the budget at $2 million. And then if a company comes in and says like, I want to invest $10 million in this, which the generally accepted budget is $2 million for an entire series, apparently.
Really?
Oh my God, that sounds so exploitative.
Fucking insane. And if a company comes in and says, I want to invest $10 million in your production, what they'll do is, instead of basically handing over 100% creative control to that company, they'll say, yeah, we'll take your money, but instead we're going to spread it out.
But how Mars Needs Moms required 150 million.
Right. So instead of taking that 10 million, we're just going to take 20 chunks of 500,000 and spread it across 20 different shows, and cap those budgets at a certain amount. And so you get
around 30% of 20 different shows.
Shit. Like,
bro,
cares?
Capitalism is so fucking stupid.
Make your fire
insane.
shit.
It's fucking insane.
It's cowardly. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a cowardly,
fear,
scared system.
Right.
Because, oh no, can't have a bomb. It's like, yeah, you can't have a bomb. Why don't you fucking try? Why don't you try
like, y'all
harder?
literally have the money to bomb.
Yeah.
You literally have the liquid capital to bomb.
You're also guaranteeing you're going to get a bunch of bombs by doing that. By half-ass investing in 20 shows instead of one really big one.
Also, you got to spend the money. You love it.
You fucking love it.
You love
bro.
spending it.
You fucking love
Dumbass.
Don't you fucking
spend on something good.
Don't you love to spend? Come on, bro.
Dude, where's our fucking... Listen, I want an avatar that's not like that. You know what I mean? Like, let's get a good... Like, let's get like a fucking generationally incredible...
You're saying like on the
work.
Technology...
Yeah.
I get what you're
like,
saying.
because...
It's like, why did that narrative have to be the one that...
Well, I just like, I don't know. These days, like... Especially after meeting you, your appreciation of like Spider-Man, Lord of the Rings, like all these movies that are kind of like they're so widely appealing, but they also move heaven and earth and also employ the state of the art.
Right.
And I just kind of like that. I just love that. I just love that from an imagination standpoint.
Of course.
And I just constantly think about it in the context of this and our cooperative model, because like fuck Avatar, like, oh, they took 5 years on that. What's the 10-year movie? Like, what's that? And at a certain point, like, technology refreshes. You probably don't need that long of a production cycle, but like, I don't know, just like even thinking about video games, like video games that take 10 years because they're such huge worlds and shit like that. Like there, people are rumoring that the new GTA, they're already like making it for like the PS6 or some shit. I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but
we have insiders.
Works that are grand in size and large and vast in their detail.
Yeah. I mean,
I like that. I like megastructures. I think that's something about me. I like megastructures to a degree.
Yeah. I'm like, when are we gonna more consistently get stuff like Breath of the Wild, or really like a lot of Switch titles in general, where it's kind of like, fuck the technology that exists. I have a creative vision.
Right.
And I want
fostering a design philosophy.
Yeah. And I just want to make what I want to make. And I'm not here just trying to max out the technology that exists.
That also, yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Like, I would love to just, just have an aesthetic.
What's incredible about Nintendo is
right. For as
none
weird
of their games are really that taxing,
right?
In any graphical way.
Yeah, for as much weird shit as they've done and put out, like their fucking controller design philosophy is insane, but they have one. Yeah. And they're not just saying, well, this is the most ergonomic and this is how you can do the most with it. Like, you just fucking make a thing that you want to make.
It is crazy because the only thing I was going to say is that like the Sony and Microsoft have both just like shaped their consoles. I mean, Sony does it better in my opinion, but they both have this kind of like approach that's like, make it like an SUV, like make it just comfortable and modern and sleek and everything. And Nintendo will just make a Switch and it's just like a fucking plate. It's like playing on a goddamn like board.
Right. It's like the N64 controller doesn't even make sense for human hands, but they're like, you'll figure it out. You will figure it out.
I wanted to speak up when y'all were talking about I think you were talking about Nintendo and how what they're doing graphically isn't that complicated, but they're still, telling.
I don't think it's that it's not complicated. It's just that they're making aesthetic choices as opposed to just just like getting uncanny valley level graphical output.
Right. And that when y'all were talking about that, it made me think about I'm basically trying to talk to people in the gaming industry about a 400 million cooperative gaming studio.
Yeah.
And talking with Ryan the other night, it was sort of an extension of a conversation we've been having about, like, from a business standpoint, from a logistics standpoint, how gaming fits into this like multimedia production scenario that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And we keep sort of coming back to this idea of, finding people who are able to do a lot with a little.
Yeah.
And like auteurs, especially on the gaming side, because, with like AAA titles and whatnot, it's like the production cycles are fucking crazy. The money is crazy. And you have huge departments and teams that are all coming together to make this thing that's, going to make money. But then, on the indie gaming side, you almost have this like, I always think A24 is like corporate now, but I always think about, that sweet spot in terms of like budget and then performance, of like paying, a few mil for a film, but it becomes this huge smash.
It's the ideal.
It's like, it's like critically acclaimed. It's in the cultural, it's reaching lots of people.
Right.
And, I've just been thinking in our context, like how that might be a good way to think about how we could approach, since so much of what we do is bootstrap and bottom up and scrappy. I'm saying all this to say, if you are an auteur, video game designer, developer, storyteller,
writer,
and please reach out
and if you
send us your work, please.
Yeah, if you're a good writer, please.
And if you've seen Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind at all,
I don't know. I see there's like I haven't played it, but there's like some fucking detective game that's super popular, and it's literally just like a top down, almost like the early Fallout games where it's just like walking,
right?
And it's just like an RPG. You've probably seen it. It's like oil pastel, like character designs, and it's just all text boxes and shit.
Yeah.
Someone in the comments, let me know what that is.
I feel like Aaliyah may have talked about that at some point.
Potentially.
Yeah.
It's like you could make cool, very lore heavy, dope megastructures for very little money.
Yeah.
And also good gameplay does not have any budget. Good gameplay is good gameplay.
Yeah.
And I've seen a million indie
Listen, Buster,
things.
if you had any idea how much those engines cost, you wouldn't be saying that.
Yeah, the amount of money we put into the Unreal 5
that
engine.
gameplay experience actually costs millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So enjoy
millions and millions and millions.
That's another
actually
thing.
Required mocapping.
It's another thing Ryan and I talked about, thinking about it from a means of production standpoint,
Building
finding
an
a team that
Right.
can build an engine, and then we have some sort of like, exclusivity with
Takes a long time, but it's worth it.
people in our networks.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's a potential angle there.
I mean, dude, Valve's, I said it all the time, but Valve's the coolest story because it's like, it's the closest thing to just, I don't know. It's a beautiful, I'm sure I don't have the full picture, and I'm sure there's shortcomings in
There are
plenty of
lots
ways.
of-
I
yeah.
wouldn't be too confident about it, but the philosophy basically is there throughout all of the things they make and how they make it, and also the idea of like taking your time with something until it's
it's
finished.
definitely the most advanced in the thread of like the
Yeah.
shit we're talking
BioWare is
about.
also very good. BioWare, Mass Effect.
This conversation is reminding me that Tenkaichi 4 is coming out.
Oh yeah, the Dragon Ball Z game.
Very exciting.
I
And
used
then
to
there's
play Budokai when I was little.
Tenkaichi is part
and
of the
there's
Budokai
examples.
series.
I think it was the first one though. The first one that I was playing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Budokai was the side scroller. Tenkaichi is
Yeah, Budokai. That was my shit. 2002.
Yeah.
I think that might have been my shit as well. There was one when I was around that age. Yes, that was quite popular.
Mm-hmm. There was one I played when I was a kid. Like, I only ever played it at my cousin's house, and they had like I think they had one, like a copy they got from Japan or some shit like that. Like, I don't think this game was available here otherwise. It was like a early Dragon Ball Z side scroll.
That's the genre I played.
Can you get some footy of that potentially?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Of what? Budokai?
Yeah, just get some visuals on that. We should also pull up after this footage of the Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers game as well. That game is fire.
I love those the co-op games at that time,
bro. They literally did a whole combat move set for that game for each character and shit, with like shit to upgrade for every character. And I'm like, this is a fucking Lord of the Rings game. Like, you're going crazy.
Yeah.
You could have made this like a cart game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's absolutely go. Okay.
Okay.
This fucking movie is starting.
Yeah, well.
Are you ready?
Full game, no comments.
Dimps.
Digital innovator, of course.
Yeah.
Don't you miss this and not being able to skip it? You got to every time you fucking start the game.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Fuck yeah.
This is taking me back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is this the one I played?
Probably.
This is the one I played for sure.
I gotta just see the graphics and then I'll know.
I played all of them. It's like Tekken 3 graphics. A little bit better.
Tekken 3.
A little bit better.
Blackface.
Fucking video games are so fucking sick, dude. You're just a kid and you're like, why the fuck would I do anything else but play this bullshit right now?
Right.
Going into
the music and sound design is ridiculous.
Right. I love Dragon Ball's commitment to the same type of music throughout every single game.
All right, let's skip ahead to some of this
fighting.
Yeah.
Is this just cutscenes? They got fights in this video?
Let's go to Namek.
Well, I better start my training if
All right.
I don't know if I played this one. Oh wait, maybe I did. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
God damn, bro.
So fire.
Yeah.
All right.
You get the picture.
I mean,
you got that backyard.
I
You
mean,
get the
anime is
picture.
just so sick.
Yeah.
The fast fighting. Who would have thought that?
Yeah, bro.
Who could have thought of that? That was too dope for my child. Like Toonami, like seeing like clips of Dragon Ball Z on that. I was like, I need to see all of that. What?
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
coolest shit in the world.
Yeah,
The way
bro.
they cut that together.
That whole
But
era.
the Two Towers.
That whole era.
also
I
as
swear
well,
to God,
sorry.
bro.
What?
That whole era was so fucking cool. Just watching like
Yeah.
Gundam Wing, the first time I ever heard cuss words in an anime.
What?
When they
What did
did-
they say? But.
Hell.
Oh.
When they did
Hell.
when they
Said heck,
in
dude.
a Midnight Run. Remember first episode of Gundam?
Yes. Let's go.
Wow.
It's
Yes.
Korean.
In
It's
Korean. Fuck yeah, dude. He's playing as Gimli.
Gimli.
And my axe.
Should load like a PS2. Yes,
the
I
cutscenes
love it.
The horse and the rider. There's the horn that was blowing.
All right. This is long as fuck, too. The
I
video,
probably,
they just
Yeah.
put
I
the
probably
movie.
literally played this before I saw the movie, so I was like, yeah, I've
Wow.
seen the movies.
Wow.
Oh, this is a great level.
Oh wow.
I'm sorry. This is incredible.
Yeah.
This is fire.
They don't make movie games anymore, bro. They literally don't.
I mean, even just the layout of the game, the
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
and how the score. It's a real orchestra playing
Right.
music. Imagine that.
Right.
You're like fully immersed, like in the fucking universe.
Right.
and you're with your fucking friends looking at the same screen.
All right.
Dog, I miss that so fucking much, man.
That's so fucking good, man.
You know what I was playing? What I was probably playing when this was out is Prince of Persia.
Dude,
that game's
Tsunami review.
fire.
That's very good too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that game's cool as fuck. Just like you can reverse time and fucking stab people and shit.
Right. That game is so sick,
cool.
man.
They need to make a new Prince of Persia and make it good.
Yeah, there was a new Prince of Persia that was like a different.
It was like Ninja Gaiden or some shit. It was
Yeah.
some bullshit.
Yeah.
Not that shit.
Yeah.
You're like one puff away from.
I'm gonna start predicting some more shit.
No one's found that yet. I'm mad. No one's pulled it up.
Oh.
Where we at on time?
We at like
I'm chilling. I'm unemployed.
Yeah.
So
we at about 2.5.
Damn.
I'm
really?
chilling. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
What's that mean? We gonna go 5 hours?
Hey,
Should we try for 4 hours?
hey, we ain't got.
Who in there? Who in there one?
Hey, let me tell you right now, we ain't got that kind of time.
If you get the picture.
Do you want to review 4 hours
Hey, I got that.
of time?
That'll come out 2 weeks from now.
Editing the multicam just like.
People just be like,
guessing.
JD fell off, dude. Put me out. And then we're like, 4.5 hours.
Here's a 10-hour release. Just enjoy.
You've got 4 hours.
We knocked out a month's worth of episodes in one.
here. You've got 4 hours of content, and you're complaining.
Yeah, and you dare complain.
Jesse.
Oh, God. You got 4 hours.
Walter, yo.
Yeah. Walter
Howard,
White, yo.
Oh my god.
They do that
Skylar
joke.
White, yo.
They do that so much. Even when Jesse's renting the house from Kristen Ritter, she does that too.
Like the yo.
Combo.
Yeah,
Combo's the funniest character.
Let me just pull up an image
Yo.
while we talk about combo.
Yo.
He's always just like that, and then
I literally Googled, and like the first image is exactly what you just did.
it's like, and it looks like he's pissed, but he's not. He's just like, yeah, he's the
Oh my
best,
God.
bro. It's like, dude, I'm combo.
He looks like if they did like a live action Shrek, but they Shrek. Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else do we?
Y'all remember this scene, right?
Oh yeah. In fact, I think I'm on that scene right now.
Damn.
Yeah.
Who's that in the foreground? Anton Chigurh?
Yeah. I don't have an RP. I don't.
Friendo.
I read that book actually.
Yeah.
No Country for Old Men.
Oh yeah.
I read it on a Kindle.
I love that movie, man.
Which is probably not how Cormac McCarthy imagines his books being read, but
Yeah.
that's funny as fuck too. Oh man.
Feels like you're dead.
I think the whale.
I'm not dead. No, I'm chilling, bro.
Look, you determine whether or not the well has run dry, my friend.
Bro, what the fuck? We'll get fried this episode, folks.
So, the world, right?
Right.
Right. Sort of like a big deal, right? If you're a Cinerama Dome, right? If you're an apple.
The world is like a dome times 2, right?
DiCaprio, right?
The Revenant.
Brad Pitt, right? Groovy. He's another dude who's like, I hang around questionable guys, right? Harvey Weinstein.
It's really more like a lot of
Pitt, right?
really more like a lot of guys hang around one questionable guy.
I had
That's me,
super
right?
questionable shit about Roman Polanski, right?
Right.
Basically a big question mark of a guy, right? Question Quarantino is what they call me.
Hey, what's up, baby? How you
questionable.
doing? You got feet?
No, we're not taking pictures. Okay.
Right.
I love that video where he's like, "No, what are you doing?
Yeah.
No.
What are you doing?"
He's like,
Yeah.
no, what's going on here?
What's going on?
what is
what
this?
is
What is
this?
this?
What is
What is
what's
this?
going on? What's
on
going on here?
What's going on here?
How's it going, man? How are you?
What's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here? Put that down. What's going on here? What are you doing? What are you doing? Do you not talk to me?
Just for the. What are you doing?
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
But you were saying the world?
The world, man, it like
It's crazy.
type shit for real.
It's crazy because like,
Do I even need to elaborate for real?
because like on the other side of the world, it's 11 a.m. right now, not p.m.
Oh, because of where the light is. Light determine what we see as time. That's crazy.
What if you could see a camera shot of the other side of the exact mathematical other side of the world from where you're sitting right here?
Somebody fucking.
Like a,
Where would
like
it be?
A, like a
Do you think
live,
it would be in an
somebody
ocean?
say fucking.
like a live stream.
Somebody
They
fucking.
Yeah.
Somebody
Probably
I don't
somebody
care
fucking.
where it is. Like
Somebody
on the other
fucking,
side.
and
You know what?
they're on a set that looks exactly like this for some
And
reason.
you know what? If
Yeah.
it's not somebody fucking, it better be.
Better get started. Better start.
Let me
Better
see.
initiate that.
He's pulling up live stream fucking.
Oh shit! Antipose map.
Huh?
Let's figure it out. 2 points out of antipodal is what you just described.
Is that a geographical?
Whoa! It was what I feared. It's all water on the other side.
Oh wow.
Wow.
That's what I was afraid of as well.
And you know what?
Off the coast of Australia.
Wow. And you know what?
Ain't that crazy?
I bet they fucking in the water.
They are.
Damn,
I bet somebody on the boat.
Yeah, if we were, well, you know, the reason I feel like I'm on the beach right now is because if we were in Australia, I'd be. What the fuck is that? Someone bent over? The fuck?
Yeah, they look. They
Why are
sticking
you
they.
doxing us right
They
now, bro?
sticking their head in the motherfucking in the ground, man.
Is that Shinji?
Yeah, the antipodal side of.
You gonna have to tell. You gonna have to cut that out.
That shit look like shit. That shit,
You literally got coordinates on that shit.
I mean,
It's all good. It ain't right here.
I mean, we also literally put that shit in the description of a show. The show.
Yeah.
No, but
No,
that's
Oh, you
not-
talking
not-
about the coordinates right here?
Not-
Okay.
not the coordinates.
Okay.
We gonna really we gonna see where that where particularly that is.
Yeah.
It
no,
shouldn't
that's
be
kinda,
right where we're at right now.
That's kind of crazy. That's a little bit crazy.
We're in Connecticut for those that don't know. Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Yeah.
That's where we are.
Yeah.
We are in fact in Bridgeport.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's not even off the
You
coast.
see-
That's
see
in the
the-
middle of the fucking.
I know. Look, man, give me some leeway here. That's his head coming out the other side. You get it?
Oh, that's
No, I
crazy.
get it. I get it.
Oh.
You get it now.
Oh yeah, I get
I
it.
guess
He
that
got
would be off the coast. I
he
guess
got
that would
like
be
a-
off the coast. but
he
I'll
got like a
revise.
really long neck. That's the joke.
He gives long neck.
He got a
His neck goes through the world.
he like a giraffe.
He's giving neck to
A
eels
G-ray,
outside
a
of
giraffe.
Australia.
Man, I feel
Have
like
y'all
I
ever
was
had
a giraffe
toasted
in
raviolis?
my past life. I
Would you
was real total eating trees, looking upon the motherfucking. I was out there, man.
You ever-
I can feel it, man.
you
I
ever-
always had when I seen the Toys R Us, like fucking mascot, something stuck me right in my heart, man.
Jeffrey Giraffe.
You ever eat a leaf?
I was a giraffe in my last life, man.
You ever eat a leaf
Many
of some
No.
kind?
many of
No,
leave.
no.
You never ate a leaf?
I've had lettuce.
Like a salad? That's a leaf.
Salad.
That's a
I've
leaf.
had that, but
That's a leaf of some kind.
I haven't
You
had
telling me you never?
foliage or some
You
shit.
telling me you never had a leaf before?
No, I've never eaten foliage and shit. No, but listen. Like,
My heart is still in that co-op Lord of the Rings mode.
Oh,
Like,
I
yeah.
mean,
I'm fiending for that. That's the
Bro.
that should be the next trend, if anything. Trend in fucking.
We got to get a
indie
GameCube and
gaming.
just run a some co-op shit on the show.
Honestly, I like these internet cafes you can go to where there's just like mad computers and
that shit is fun.
Playing. That's a game changer.
Yeah.
It
feels
like
I'm back at
all these penis bacteria covered keyboards and mouses. Yeah, sure.
This nigga's scared of cum. Like you're not touching cum everywhere. You've been on the subway.
You think you don't think niggas jacking off in there?
Jacking off
directly on the on the mouse
on the
keyboard.
Man, if it's on their hand, where you think it going, nigga?
I feel like it's diluted by the time.
No, I don't think that's how bacteria.
They've probably washed their hands. You know,
I don't think that's how that works.
I just feel like you could wash your hands after.
Look, man, we can go to them cafes, but I'm wearing surgical gloves.
I think that's an easy solution. I think you can do that.
Yeah. I'm sure there's people who have taken stronger precautions than that. Even
these are my gaming gloves.
Yeah,
for the cafes exclusively.
Yeah. Am I giving someone a lineup? No. Am I making barbecue? No. These are for gaming.
Yeah.
Black latex gloves.
Yeah.
That's basically true. That's basically right. You know, and I agree. Lord of the Rings. Listen, apparently they're making more Lord of the Rings or remaking Lord of the Rings.
Man,
and it's like, it's like, hey,
out of her.
Here, in my eyes. Find something else. Find another thing. One other thing. Find one other thing. New thing. It can't just be John Wick. It can't just be that's the only new thing that comes out.
Star Wars. We'll do more Star Wars.
No.
Star Wars?
No.
Oh, well, how about we bring back Jurassic Park?
We've been doing that.
But again, we rebooted again. What if we did it? What if we did Jurassic Park again? No. You're not okay. You're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. What if we did a second time from the second time, Jurassic Park?
What?
But this time it's again. Do you understand what I'm saying?
What if we did Jurassic Shark?
What if we did Jurassic Shark?
It's like dinosaur poo-poo.
Like dinosaur poo-poo.
Yeah. What if we just did a slow art film about Jeff Goldblum getting eaten alive by velociraptors?
No. But yes. But we get that IP though.
Yeah.
We get the IP though.
That's what I want.
I checked the coordinates. I'm not gonna say it on here. Y'all are gonna laugh so hard when I tell you where it landed.
Where?
I can't say it on here.
Oh, okay.
It's still TMI, but it's still funny.
It's gonna be on a dildo shop or some shit.
You're close.
A dildo
butthole shop. a butthole device shop.
A dildo.
A dildo. This is a dildo. This is what they used in the Middle Ages. It was a wooden device. These were called dilderts back in the day.
Dilderts.
And the name dildirt has that weird AE character. That's like A and E smushed together. It's dildert.
Dilderts.
It's a dildert.
Dildert.
Yeah.
Damn.
But that's what they used to jerk off in medieval times.
That's crazy.
That's how they splintered their asshole. doing lubeless dildert maneuvers.
Yo, that reminds
This is what happens when we start running extra time out.
Running on fumes, bro.
I'm not running on fumes. I'm filling tape, you know.
That reminds me. That reminded me the Dilbert dude is racist. That's such a funny thought.
I was gonna say it's wild how they used to like use like leather as like condoms or something.
Oh. Just a full.
It was like lamb throat or some shit. It was literally. No, I swear to God, it's like lambskin condom.
Yo.
I suppose we'll close out on that.
Yep. Well, what a note.
OpenCollective.com/Jaded Forum. Please support the show. Fantastic episode. Thank you for watching. One. You want to keep going or what?
I think that's enough. I think we've done enough. Yeah.
1, 2, 3.